here, and I'm going in and I'm practicing. I got a practice regimen every week. It's very much like what we see from Shadic, but then we also have to kind of have that sense of, you know, at the end of the day, this is a game. I did the best I could do. You know, kind of not laissez-faire, but just very much like I'm content and happy with what I have. I want more, but I'm okay with what I get. And honestly, when you get two sort of play styles like that meeting in the middle, I think it's going to be a recipe for something really great for the viewers. Let's go ahead and get right into this. Game number 1. Winner side top 32. So excited to be here. Who's going to draw blood first? Okay, it looks like it's already Jonhy not playing any games.
It's on Pokemon Stadium 2, so getting that first stock, it might be a little while, but it also depends on just if any of these players are going to get that offense started, because we don't think about Sephiroth as a character that does a ton of damage super quickly, but Jonhy is the kind of player to maximize his character like that. Meanwhile, on the other side, Corrin can definitely do a lot of that damage very quickly with just one opening. That's the kind of player that Shadic can be as well, but you got to get up close to the Sephiroth first, and Jonhy so far doing a really good job of controlling that mid-range space.
I mean, that's exactly what you have to do, and this is what happens when you allow a character like Corrin to get in. You get that one down tilt, and then, of course, you're just in the blender. You're kind of caught in the cutscene right here. Now, speaking of cuts, there's the forwarder right off the ledge of the stage. You're going to need as much breathing space as possible in the ledge. The last thing you want is for Shadic to run up, do that turnaround roll, active hitbox on F smash, that patented Shadic stuff we love so much. Woo! And, of course, the pin to win right at the ledge of the stage. Shadic goes up a stock here, but let's see how long they're going to hold on to this lead, because, again, we talk about how dangerous Corrin is in the corner. Same can be certainly said for Sephiroth. Can I make it back? I sure can.
Okay, yeah, Jonhy picking up the stock there, but man, that whole sequence, I gotta say, was also very well played by Shadic, sort of the whole way through. Jonhy played it correctly, even more so, got the whole setup, got the stock, but Shadic did everything in his power that he could. He did a late recovery to try to get that Shadow Flare to knock him up, maybe mix up his timing so that Jonhy wouldn't be able to hit that downer on him at the ledge. And then even after that, when he realized he didn't have the resources, tried to take Jonhy down with him. None of those things came to pass, but it was still extremely well played. And as I'm describing how good Shadic's been playing, he gets to show you. You can see it with your own eyes. Shoutouts to Third Strike's character select screen.
There you go right there, man. Paying homage in more than one ways right there. And unfortunately enough, not quite able to get the follow-up he's looking for in the corner. Of course, Nair being the quickest of Sephiroth's options out of shield. So, of course, once Corrin breaks that zone, it's kind of down tilt city being Frank 5, super good on your shield up close. Wait a minute. There's the forward throw off stage. And a bit of a charge cancel mix-up. This is where Sephiroth comes kind of potent. We're going deep. Doesn't quite get anything off in it. Yeah, just kind of trying to chase him down. I get it. Not wanting to overextend too much, looking for some of that nickel and dime damage, that tit-for-tat stuff. But we're going to need a big play here and fast, because, as you can see, Sephiroth, a big body, is susceptible to a lot of damage.
And Smash doesn't have as many traditional frame traps as is the, textbook fighting game glossary definition of the word, but that's one of those situations that Corrin is so good at where, yeah, it's not technically an actual frame trap, but it does let you cover things like the air dodge, like the tech, and still be able to immediately cover everything afterwards. And Jonhy getting covered off stage does have the one wing, but the timing on that get-up, far too predictable for Shadic to drop. He used that pin very early, but then immediately threw out that kick to meaty catch that get up and take that game number 1.
That's right, man. Had the wing, but could not avoid the swing right there. That is the Corrin classic in the corner. You have to also, keep in mind, there's a lot of what, Shadic's going to be bringing to the table are all mix-ups, and once you get caught in that blender, it's just such a bad time. And it's so apparent, like we kind of mentioned coming into this match, keeping Corrin out of your zone. Now, Corrin, of course, very, very long character physically, longer than Sephiroth. I'll leave it up to the skeptics. But as we do know, once that zone is broken physically, it becomes the Corrin show. Forward air, very safe on shield. Falling up air, very safe. And down tilt, of course, very, very quick. So let's see how the rest of this match is going to see. There's the falling up air already. Not much Sephiroth's going to be able to do to answer back quickly.
I like that high recovery, though, because, yeah, there's not a lot that Shadic's going to be able to do to close out the stock right there, given his positioning. So, Jonhy says, hey, even if I do end up taking a little bit more damage here, guarantee that path back to ledge. And I like that little recovery mix-up. Jonhy, a very technical player, not going to shy away from doing that kind of movement just to mix things up, just to look fancy. And speaking of fancy, you will take that 90% now and more to the bank to try and close this out. But Shadic, great recovery.
I love it, man. It's fancy. There's a lot of flash, but there's a lot of fire behind that flash as well, too, friends. Don't get it twisted. 1% differential between these two talented individuals, and the spacing is immaculate right here, but I've seen better. There's the down throw. Now, of course, in this corner back here, the ultimate spacing tool, auto spacing, of course, keeping you in the right position and as safe as possible. But there's another falling up here, and that's going to be enough. Sephiroth, of course, hits like a ton of bricks, but as light as the feather on that back.
Once again, a really good catch by Shadic on just like the timing of the defensive options and the approaches from Jonhy, which has kind of been the Achilles heel so far in this set. I mean, we did see, again, Jonhy on the defense playing very intelligently. He used that up B, the charge with the Octaslash, to try to just put some pressure on Shadic and knew that pin would be coming, so dropped off the ledge immediately afterwards, and you saw him, he did escape that dangerous situation, but was unable to capitalize on it. Shadic did a really good job of keeping himself in place on stage to get that punish afterwards, and does get to continue to play with a big lead for his troubles.
In stage, but unfortunately kind of caught off stage right here. Not a spot that you have historically throughout the course of this match done pretty well at. Of course, Sephiroth, when they swing with authority, and of course they're going to clear a lot of space. There's one orb on the Shadow Flare. Caught in the corner right now, and yes, got to get back into position. No tipper effect, but message definitely sent. Next day air, man. Big shout out to DHL in the building here. Hold up a second. A lot of fair on shield. Now, of course, -4, again, another option that I think Sephiroth's going to have a really hard time answering back on. Falling up here, I'm coming to get you. It's a scary movie.
Ooh, I love the idea of using that pin right there to cover what Jonhy was definitely looking for, which would have been jumping back onto the stage, throwing out a back air to take away Shadic's jump. Jonhy definitely not out of this yet. A little bit of a misinput right there. Shadic potentially looking for that falling back air, letting that back lingering hit of it set up for some really safe and easy shield pressure. That's why we saw that up smash come out. Jonhy took advantage, but Shadic continuing that juggle game. He is looking like he belongs on the streets of France.
That's right, man. In the circus right there, the way Sephiroth unfortunately got juggled. Barnum and Bailey, and I'm loving what I'm seeing right here. Shadic, of course, not letting him go at all. You're not off the hook just yet. Just because I have the lead does not mean I'm going to concede on the damage. I'm still moving forward here. There's the Nair. And, of course, nice. And, okay, I was getting ready to say, there's a downer. Are they going to be able to line one up finally? I love the presence of mind to go for that at the ledge. We got to time that just a little bit better. No kick there that time. Of course, not want to do with any of the orbs on the Shadow Flare. I think one thing that I've seen Shadic kind of struggle with are characters that kind of add that residual damage up. Of course, you don't want to do, oh, my goodness. Wonderful tech in place right there. I'm talking the Matrix.
That's such a really good advancing defense from Jonhy, not committing to anything, but just sort of letting something get thrown out and then going for that whiff punish. Immediately got it. And again, Shadic looking so well set up near the end of this game. A pin at the ledge can certainly do it. Any sort of setup from like a nair into a back air near the ledge, also going to be danger for Jonny's life. But speaking of back airs, one little Sephiroth back air to set things up. You heard the first frames of that counter come out from Sephiroth, but not enough to get it activated, not enough to take that stock.
Shadic will watch his life flash before his eyes just for that movie to become a very, very true. Unfortunately, getting a little too close right there and getting burned by Jonhy. Now, of course, as both of these two players right now are one stock apiece, the percents tell a slightly different story. 108%. I can't help but the flag. We might see some of that low percent fun come out here from, that's right, from Sephiroth. Okay, gets one there. Wondering what the option is going to be to start chaining these together. One of the quicker moves in Sephiroth's toolkit, of course, a little lackluster in that regard, but where they lack in speed, they make up in versatility.
Oh, no way!
And, of course, off-stage prowess. Nice! That's good. Oh, is that going to be enough? There's the air dodge, burns it, goes deep. And now, oh, wait a minute. Did you just save their life? Build you up just to knock you back down again. One game apiece. Jonhy, Shadic. Wow.
Great sequence there from Jonhy. That whole situation set up just by that one forward air at maximum range on the stage, and then knowing, well, what are you going to do? You want to get away from me after I hit you. Look at how far away the Sephiroth is from Shadic when that hits, but knowing that Sephiroth has both the speed and the range to cover that tech roll away,
yes.
Jonhy immediately had that read ready. Shadic went to the ledge, and at the end of the day, that's all she wrote because Jonhy was not dropping that edge guard.
And again, it just goes to show the importance of making sure you're covering all aspects of the matchup. On paper, we came in, we prophesized some things statistically, how the matchup goes in sets prior, not only just between these two phenomenal players, but just, you know, Sephiroth and Corrin in general. But the fact remains the same. All sorties, I mean, when it comes to the offstage gameplay, it's like Dragon versus Dragon in Pokemon. We're both super effective on each other. When I swing, there's a good chance you're going to be able to avoid this. If you don't avoid it, you burn that air dodge. The average sortie in this game not going to be able to come back from that magnifying glass to the ledge. And then, of course, if you get hit, well, damn it, you just got hit. So great stuff right there. But that's only one game apiece. If you guys are just tuning in, I believe this is all best of 5. So I think all these players are going to have to work for that lunch money.
And you know what? The Smash players, they're down for that. They asked for this, they're going to get it.
That's
and that
right.
means that by the end of this set, we are going to be damn well sure that the winner is the one that was playing better and was the better player today. But right now, kind of hard to tell who that is because Shadic has been extremely clean, been punishing a lot of very small mistakes from Jonhy, but the big moments have been coming through from Jonhy. I mean, it's just like the Haikyuu movie. It's a little bit like the, the Karasuno versus the Nekoma. It's the slow and steady versus the big moments, and that's exactly what this has been.
That's right. I'm loving this tug of war right now as it stands right now. Shadic moving forward right here has the lead 80%, and depending on how the matchup goes, 80% could feel like 180% just because of how light Sephiroth is, but as light as they are, that feather is here. Oh, yes, that's right now. Wing is getting wild. Hold up a second. Okay, nothing off the F-tilt, but I'm loving that. That's the Sortie classic. Turn around, run to the ledge aggressively, pivot F-tilt, throws everybody off. I see you lurking off this stage, man, and you're going to get hurt. Big play right here from Shadic. I don't know if they meant to do that, but hey, who cares? I'm back at the ledge.
Definitely. I mean, that is where he wanted to recover for sure. I mean, seeing that Jonny was going to go down for that counter as usual. You will get scooped by that Octo Slash, though. No way to make that back without your double jump, so Shadic will get blast zone there. But the recoveries have been great. You can see that as long as Jonny has time to set up those edge guards, it can be very effective. Hollow Bastion is playing a bit of a purpose here for Shadic as well, though, because it is a lot harder for Jonny to get things set up when there's not, that weird underneath part of Pokemon Stadium 2, and you're not on something like Kalos, right, where you're just going to be able to ride the wall and activate that counter against that Corrin up B. For Shadic, he wants to be able to just kind of scoop underneath the stage where you can't land that front-facing counter.
Absolutely, and of course, again, that awareness that I'm pretty sure he's known, but had to gang on the fly because of how the last match, kind of ended. I think it's big right here to see him kind of implement it on the fly. And on the topic of flying off stage, and of course, as quickly as they got off of there, they are certainly back on it. Jonny's looking for that, but were they looking for that, though? Big play in the corner. Shadic right now goes up big, but I can't help but to feel like we've seen at the end of the last game, we could see a big Jonny play coming soon. Lands, they're falling up there to the rising. Nice, there's fair. Frame 9, down tilt, up tilt. That's right, man. Numbers are just a flying over here, man. It's Schoolhouse Rock. We're doing it the cool way.
Corrin against a tall character, right? I mean, you're not going to feel very cool after you get smacked up like that to the tune of 55% just right out of the gate, but that is exactly what this character does once she is able to start swinging, especially against a bigger disjoint than hers. Not many of those, but caught off stage. Shadic, I think, just kind of whiffing a button where he didn't kind of mean to throw it out, and Jonny jumping on that like a lion.
That's so smart right there for Jonny. Knew that they were going to try to drift away from the nair. No sense in getting hit with the double nair into a forward or drifted just a little bit too far out, and you forgot about this, man. This is my left stance in boxing. Don't forget about my bait hand, because there's my forward air getting the job done. We have completely tilted away here at this lead. One wing, and I need to see a big play. Nice. Okay, looking for the what are those, pointing at them shoes, or I guess the lack thereof. This is Corrin. You ain't got no shoes on. Okay, there's
only barely outclassing R.O.B, who does not have any feet in the first place.
You won't catch R.O.B at Foot Locker, that's for damn sure. Okay, there's the back air. Nothing off of it, but we're seeing a lot more nair come out here. Nice. Frame 6, there's fair. And now we got to get off this stage. What is the play going to be? Oh, the empty jump into the back air. I got wings too, says Shadic. And they are soaring towards a W in this set.
That was so beautifully played, Shadic. I mean, that was a download right there that he wasn't able to do anything about earlier, but he noted that Jonny was doing a really good job of getting off the ledge, and that was by playing things very conservatively. He had a great call out to take the second stock, I believe, in that game, where Jonny was doing a great job of maneuvering around the direct ledge trap from Shadic, forced him to back off of the ledge, and Jonny burning the double jump, using a lot of fastballs to mix up his timings. Shadic eventually cleaned it up, but he did note that when Jonny's coming off that ledge, there's going to be a lot of jumping. There's going to be a lot of utilizing that aerial movement to try to get past Corrin, and that is where that back air was key.
That's right, and it also doesn't help, too, that both of these characters, and again, I don't know who's longer than who. I mean, I know at like a standing level is definitely Sephiroth, but when they swing, a lot of Corrin's extensions just goes to the other side of the screen, so you always have to take into account that one small little aspect, and I'm saying small, but it's actually a big aspect of Corrin. That backer covering so much space in conjunction with just, let's keep it real, Sephiroth is a pretty tall guy, okay? And the world loves tall people until it's time to get up off the ledge and smash. Then you have to duck everything plus the kitchen sink. So big stuff right there to Shadic, of course, right here on set point, but I feel like Jonny might push this to a best of 5, and honestly, after the rundown you gave on Jonny, I'd like to see more of these two play.
I'd like to see some more of that. Again, that height of Sephiroth definitely can come into play. That opens up a lot for Corrin. I mean, you know it yourself as a tall, statured individual, Rod. It's not as easy as they advertise it, being tall.
No,
getting on the airplane, not so easy.
Dude, and the air is thinner up here. I can't breathe. It's messed up. My ears are popping just standing still. It's messed up. No, all jokes aside, yes, there's definitely peaks and valleys right now, and it looks like the peaks are belonging to Jonny right here in this set. 44% to a very comfortable 69, but we will see how the rest of this starts to trail, because we have seen for the most part how Jonny could come back from a deficit, but I'm curious to see what's going to happen when the shoe is on the other foot.
I got to see how he comes back out of the corner of the stage, because Shadic has been doing such a phenomenal job of knowing, yes, Jonny's looking for whiff punishes. That's what Sephiroth does. And there has been a lot of empty movement, a lot of sacrificing just little bits of space over and over. And you saw earlier in like the middle of this stock, Shadic just kind of walked Jonny all the way to the corner without even throwing out a hitbox to threaten that space. It was just all the little bits of movement. Woo. And that's one of the most beautiful parts of these games.
Yeah, sometimes less is most certainly more. As you can see right there, just something as simplistic as a down special offstage can be so detrimental to these sorties trying to come to really everybody, but specifically the sorties here in this game. Back to the corner we go. Nice. Charge cancel mix up. Looking for something, and yes, looking for something to find a whole lot of it. There's the back air, and wasn't even anywhere close to the ledge. That should let you know how tall Sephiroth is, okay? Swinging with authority and clearing space.
Not only is that move quite big, but just like we were talking about earlier, right? Shadic's been taking advantage of a lot of that empty movement from Jonny, noting that he's been very willing to kind of run to center stage and even past center stage to make sure that he's swinging even safer, and maybe trying to call that out by just jumping in, even though those back airs were being thrown out as a threat. At some point, you got to say, I don't believe you. I don't think you're going to throw out another one, but he did, and that worked out well for Jonny.
It's just the no mix-up. It's actually my favorite move, man. I forward air once with Link. Guess what? I'm about to forward air again, and if it don't hit, guess who's forward airing again? You guessed it.
As a grappler player, I will scoop you 3 times in a row.
See, you get it.
My Oki will be SPD, and you will respect it.
That's right. I demand a whole lot of respect right here. Same can be said to Shadic. So we need to even up these stocks here and fast, okay? The last thing I want to do is allow Jonny to get this lead and start spacing physically away. Of course, the out of shield options, as we know with Sephiroth, historically not the best in the world. However, once they start forward airing, back airing around, falling up air too, even the down smash we've seen out a little bit in the last game, you don't want no problem with that.
Man, one little sequence there where Jonny just tried to get things opened up by a ledge trump and into a nair, but couldn't follow up after it, and just that one little greedy overextension took like 60% off of it, and Shadic turning that up even more. 80 means that now pin or back air can do it. We are playing Wolf with that fair bear combo.
That's right. I'm the biggest Wolf. I've never met a Wolf who didn't love the house, said Shadic, man. Stop playing around with me. 93.4% and climbing. There's the back air, of course. Bit of a slower option, but again, and clearing a lot of room. And being able to do that just towards center stage is huge in a matchup like this because, again, the internalized tug of war is who's going to outspace the other one. Off stage, charge cancel mix-up in the corner. And I'm loving what I'm seeing here. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe let it rip just a little too early. There's the frame 5 down tilt. Don't give it to him.
Shadic with an opportunity to close things out with this ledge trap, trying to call out that jump, but immediately recognizing, yes, Jonny's staying grounded now. Now we go to the aerials. This is the mix you love to see. It doesn't matter if you're on a 2D plane or if you're playing Smash and you're jumping all over the place. You start getting those little reads on your opponent, how they're going to react, when they're going to switch it up, and it always looks beautiful.
Yes, it does right here. A thing of beauty to see a player like Shadic do damage right here, but I don't think the job is done quite yet. Jonny, of course, has been able to get back to the ledge virtually scot-free, and for good reason, but not this time. Falling up there, there's the neutral special, forcing a low recovery. Put the pin away. I got a sword that's a little bit longer than yours.
Shadic is doing such a good job of calling out those jumps, but it's not over yet. This is Jonny. This is Sephiroth with a wing. Both of those things combined with this 119% of rage means that we saw it in that game number 2. It could end in Jonny's favor if Shadic is not careful. He is being very patient around those jumps, though, and calling out that landing with the pin just because your opponent's in.
To be down here, and of course, with that backing of Dreamhack, it just makes the picture that much more vibrant, beautiful. It's beautiful. So let's go ahead and get to this next match. I believe we talked about a little bit of Lima kind of coming into this, and wouldn't you guessed it, the Umbra Witch, the Witch with no memory, is here. Let's go ahead and get it.
Going up against one of yesterday's doubles champions in Varun5. These two players have played a ton. I'm not sure what their set history is. I'm fairly certain it's relatively Lima favored because most set histories in DFW are, for that matter.
Sure.
But yeah, these two throw down at locals all the time. Doesn't matter if it's a Shockwave, if it's a Freaks, if it's a Comet Clash. I mean, they're going to be there. They're going to be taking names. And this, I mean, you're going to be able to probably see it, that these two are not just going to be playing the matchup. This is going to be playing against the players. It's going to be that set play. It's not going to be all that traditional, but definitely going to be a heck of a good time watching two damn good characters throw down, piloted by two damn good players. Great tech on the block by Varun5.
Absolutely, man. Of course, got to always be aware of your percentages, not as Bayonetta, but of course as the person fighting Bayonetta as well, too, because yes, you got that frame 7 up tilt. Looking for that back air as well, too. Little off the mark, kind of mix it up a little bit, too, but yes, if there's a wheel, this most certainly way. Look, after I've shown my hand with the up tilt, you can bet you about $1 back here. It's somewhere in the neighborhood. Just got to find the right house. There's down tilt. All 3 hits right there, up forward. Or something we don't get to see very, very often, but always a lovely thing when it comes out. Okay, nice and no throw.
Yeah, I was just going to say, interesting to see that Lima going for a non-guaranteed combo right there. Oh my goodness, how did his shield so suddenly get broken? That is a dead Bayonetta for sure with those tools built up from Varun5. I was going to talk about Lima going for a combo route that definitely, was read-based, did not react to the DI like he normally does, and, Varun5 made him pay. It was just one anvil on shield, and I've never really seen it break from that big of a shield, but there it is.
There it is. I mean, there's a first time for everything, and honestly, a lot of those first times and everything tend to come from the Steve players, you know what I'm saying? Or at least when one's active on stream.
That is a character that never ceases to surprise.
That's facts. Nice, and of course, surprise, surprise, but not really. There's another back here, of course, over the block there that time. Always smart to try to work in and around these blocks and trying to play the guessing game of where Steve is going to be. And according to those blocks, there's that up tilt right into the back here. No days off. That is one of Bayonetta's patented combos. And you got to love every time you see it. Okay, up B out of shield. Witch Twist got a little too close for comfort, but Steve, of course, working with some decent tools here. I've certainly seen better. Put that up smash away.
Everybody who's ever played against Lima knows, all right, once he starts hitting me off stage, I am DIing out. I do not want him to start getting all custom on me, just like he was trying to with that lingering up air, right? If that back hit of that connects, then Lima's just going to start hitting some nasty stuff on you, and that is not what happened. There's the bats. For a second, I thought that was another shield break.
I was about to say 2-in-1 game. You got to be kidding me. Bats within, and as you know, sometimes if it helps on stage, sometimes it puts you in a very disadvantageous position, courtesy of that down smash. Of course, Varun5 said, I might be down, but when I see an opportunity, I'm going to reach out and grab it. Great stuff for the corner control. Bayonetta, of course, not the fastest gal up close and personal, despite how potent she is. Frame 9 jab. But I think, again, where she lacks in mobility, she certainly makes up in innovation with her combos. And if Lima can keep leaning into that, we might be in a good spot. In the corner, another landing there again. And I'm starting to build him up right now. I'm mining, and damn it, I'm crafting.
52%, but no access to any no-impact land combos or anything there for Varun5, which definitely could have extended things. But at those percents, kind of difficult to just kind of find that timing, especially. So not able to connect that, but 90% built up on the Bayonetta and off the backboard. Lima does not really have any combos available, but there is the staple crop of the Bayonetta farm. It is that back air to take that stock. Lima, his freshly shaven face, up 1-0.
That's right, getting handsome on him, on and off the sticks, man. Don't hurt nobody. Great stuff right here to Lima. Yeah, off the backboard with that back air. And then, of course, as we've seen from players of all statures before, you do something to Steve, he hits the wall, and you're just like, that was it. That's all I had. I was spent. Not Lima. Lima was like, you know what? If I back air once, bet you bottom dollar, I'm going to back air again. That is one of Bayonetta's chunkiest moves in her toolkit. And honestly, one could argue, maybe of all her normals, at least in the air, I mean, that might be her best one. I mean, you need that up tilt, but more importantly, you need that back air to really get the job done. So great stuff right there, of course, to Lima. 1 game up. Let's see what Varun5 is going to do to answer back here.
Well, the first question that he is trying to answer is where to go for stage, and that answer for now is at least Hollow Bastion. And that is honestly, a pretty good choice. You get a variety of materials here, and especially being able to sit under this center platform. I think that, Varun was having a little bit of difficulty trying to figure out, okay, how do I keep Lima out? Like, building the blocks just wasn't effective. The PS2 platforms just did not bring enough, but man, Lima says, if you're not under that platform, then I'm going to take you all the way to the skies. If you got no roof, the tornado's going to pick you up. He got that single hit Witch Twist, which was then able to connect into the next one. A very difficult combo to space, but Lima's been practicing that for months, and he finally found that opportunity to show it off.
Smooth stuff right there from Lima, dropping Varun5 out in outer space. There's the up tilt again, double frame 7 on the first hit. Going to go for the Witch Twist, and yes, boom. I love that. Just, again, going for some of that safe stuff. Again, you have to make sure your combos are so airtight versus Steve because they have the options to break through. Oh, wait a minute. Nice, drops to Anvil. Nice, looking for some corner control. Bit of a mix-up. And yes, we're going to get all 3 hits right here of the forwarder. And I said it once yesterday. I'll say it again. You know what I'm saying? My whole philosophy versus Steve is all going to come down to how well you deal with cart. And it seems like Lima very accustomed to maybe not all Steve cart, but definitely Varun5's cart.
It's not just been the cart, which is such a key part of that Steve defense, right? But just about every single piece of Steve defense has been dismantled top to bottom from Lima, and Varun is still trying to stick to that defensive playstyle. Lima does clean it up with that back air. He's not going to get caught off guard with those edge guards. He is on top of things because Bayonetta off stage in the air, she can fly around like a fighter jet, and she's about to get sent all the way up into the atmosphere there by that magma.
There it is, man. Team Bayonetta blasting off again. Drop down with the Nair. Of course, damage ain't stopping just yet. And I'm loving what I'm seeing here. Got to go deep right here to get that damage and just try. Okay, this is the Lima I know. I got the lead, and I'm very comfortable right here. I'm here to succeed. Wait a minute. Okay, nice. The forwarder, and yes, a very overzealous forwarder, but a much-needed one. Down tilt. Uh-oh, yeah, you better put that fishing rod up. Hold up.
Still shocked he went for that ledge jump. That might have been one of the greediest plays ever, and it still worked out. This is like Lima in that true flow state. Oh my gosh, that up smash, and just as the block expires too, so Lima can immediately get an upwards ABK to try and knock Varun back off stage. I mean, this has just been a steamroll. The stage seems to have not even mattered. Lima is just on fire.
Yeah, Varun's getting flattened right now, to say the absolute least. This is anything but good. In the corner, we probably shouldn't see any more up throws here anymore. One of Bayonetta's strongest kill throws, especially in those earlier percents. It's probably going to be forward throw here at the ledge. We can get it set up properly. Varun5, of course, very well aware and starting to hold forward, too, knowing that they're going to get their tools here in line pretty soon. They're going to start hitting an advantage, but it ain't going to be in game number 2. Come on. It might have to be a game number 3 sort of thing. Beautiful stuff right here from Lima. Varun5 looking a little bit without answers, but we're going to have to figure something out here because Lima's taking no prisoners.
I'm just still on that we were talking about earlier. Oh, with Steve, you know, you're going to see something you've never seen before. And I don't think I've ever seen a Steve set up a block off stage to, you know, kind of mix up the recovery timing and then drop off of it and then immediately get stage spiked off that block and die.
That's
but
right.
Lima being aggressive out there at that up air was able to take it there. We go back to Hollow Bastion for game number 3. And Rod, I feel like Varun's got to change up from the defensive playstyle because Lima's been dismantling it. I think we need to see some more aggression.
You can't
out
play
of this
patient.
team.
I'm have to hard agree with you on that one, Kimona. You can't really out-patient Bayonetta, especially not Lima's. I mean, the whole aspect behind this character is waiting for you to make a mistake because she's not the quickest gal up close. So she's waiting for you to make the mistake, and then once you've made it, you fell into her trap, and you are done. As you can see right there, trying to disengage a little bit. We're off stage, but you give it Bayonetta one block, and as you know, she don't need much room to get the party started. A little off the mark right there with that wicked weave F smash. Nice, going to go for the down throw here this time. Looking to hold you in place. Caught you off stage. One thing to keep in mind too, Bayonetta, of course, not the heaviest gal in the world. So as we know, Steve swings with authority. We just haven't quite seen it throughout the course of this set, but it's coming soon. I feel it.
I mean, again, it just depends on getting Bayonetta in position to make that happen. Lima recognizing that block added too much hit lag onto that up tilt to be able to confirm into the back air, so bailed out of that combo. And finally, a moment for Varun to do a little bit of mining. Did not get close enough to that radius of the witch time to get slowed down either, so we continue to mine. I wanted to bring it up at the beginning of the last game on Hollow Bastion 2, Rod, that this is a stage where you get 2 different types of resources depending on where you're mining. If you're on top of the gold, you get iron. If you're on top of the stone, you get stone. Oh my goodness, but as I'm talking about Steve and mining and all that, stocks are flying.
They are flying left and right, and I'm loving what I'm seeing here. You know, we talked about the importance of being sure you can hold forward a little bit. We're starting to see the aggressive options come out a little bit more, but also the defense definitely playing a big role right here for Varun, allowing Lima to go for 2 moves, expending the bullet arts. Usually we'll see a Bayonetta hold A to get the bullet arts when she knows she's messed up and she needs that active hitbox on the end of that chamber. Varun5 held shield for both. They got the scoop on that up smash, but wait a minute. Getting scooped to the top themselves. Put the block away. On the way back.
Being able to shield midair is a very powerful thing to have at your disposal. Man,
seriously.
Lima stumping that up B on stage a couple of times with that heel slide, not letting that be that drive rush, that shortcut to get the offense started, and up in the air continues to lay on that pressure.
That's right. It ain't done just yet. Nice double forward air, and nice. I mean, this C-stick is getting flicked in every direction. Every aerial is landing. Nice, almost getting around the anvil. Of course, you got to know that's one of Varun's get out of jail free card. Well, I don't know about for free, but we out of jail, though. There's that down air. Down tilt again. First hit F tilt. Frame 7 up tilt. Or first hit forward air, excuse me.
Lima is actively trying to style on him. Getting tossed off stage right there. Going to try to make it back. Burns a lot of resources, will end up in a lot of end lag, but does know that, again, Steve, not the most mobile of characters, is able to take advantage of that to at least land on stage, even after using all those specials, which is something that Lima does more than almost any other Bayonetta player. He will expend them all, and this stock not quite expended. Good recognition to see that he did not have time for a smash attack there, but that does mean he's got to fight a little bit longer to get this last one done.
Yeah, looks like he's looking for a mix-up of some sort. Turned his back, looking for maybe the ending frames of that up tilt. Of course, there's no back hitbox on it, so probably expecting Varun to air dodge in. Not entirely sure. Going to go for upper there that time. And of course, Varun just landing in place, not expending that air dodge anymore. Understanding the importance of not overstanding versus Bayonetta up throw. No, actually had the mash of a lifetime. Was able to get out of harm's way. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive another one, though. This percent is definitely climbing. Oh, you missed it. You tried it.
Lima, I don't think that he's doing his patented I'm winning by a lot and I'm just going to see how much damage I can rack up on you kind of thing. And certainly is not. Without the rage, he has his kill confirm. If your brain off, press some buttons, see what happens. But Jazo brain activated, even more so than you have to play Ken, I believe, in Street Fighter 6. I say that as somebody who has been told to try and stop me far too many times. And great DI on that combo to stay alive there from Jazzo. Taking on Grayson, we discussed earlier, took down MuteAce 3-2, will now once again try to defend the region.
Well, let's see how it all goes down here, because that was quite the opening here from a Grayson. Jazzo, of course, need to answer back here. That's right. Don't play with me on this top platform. Double down tilt. Half of a Tatsu. Nice. And I'm loving these resets. Nothing off the up. Oh, I'm loving that. Damn. Thought he was actually going to catch him off of his feet, or I guess in Rob's case, off of his wheels, but trying to keep this match as grounded as humanly possible. Now, as great of a boxer and of a kicker and everything else in between that Ken is, Rob, of course, plus some really great options as well, too. Frame 4 up tilt, frame 3 down tilt, can definitely box and has the tools right there to help. Wait, the mix up? Wait a minute. Oh, you tried it?
No.
Don't ever try that.
Okay, so the first time I thought that Jazzo was just trying to not contend with the gyro, but I see now that, no, you're right. He is just trying to mix Grayson. That's all he's looking for right there. Trying to catch him, jumping out of shield, as so many people are wont to do, but Grayson has already shown off a lot of rolls out in that situation, and maybe that's something that Jazzo is going to try to hunt down later.
Whoa, and then how did he have the presence of mind to go for the air dodge in and not air dodge in place, knowing that that's exactly what Grayson was looking for? It's almost as if he's been in this position multiple times, and same could be said for Grayson right there. Here's the up tilt right into the Shoryu. Jazzo, of course, with a bit of a lead, but it wasn't for long. Takes it back. There's the up air through the platform. Grayson keeping this thing even. Up tilt. Looking for the heavy one there that time. Oh, come here. No, there's a big move. Very safe. Super safe on shield if spaced properly, but if not, I'm all up in your face. Hold up.
One thing to say, too, is that if you're parrying the beginning of that nair rather than the end of it, then you're catching a lot more total frames that Rob has to go through. And hold up a second. While I'm talking about where to parry nairs and stuff like that, Jazzo's just putting on a clean 120% or so, and then nearly taking the stock as well. Grayson mixing up that recovery very nicely. You've got infinite amounts of it to work with as Rob, but only so much you can do. And just like we were talking about earlier, Grayson's been rolling a lot in those scramble close-up situations. Jazzo already taken advantage of it.
And for good reason, too. Again, when a character as scary as Ken gets up close and personal, even the strongest players in the world are going to crumble and maybe lean into some of those bad habits. Here's a good habit, though. Up tilt at the ledge. We're just going to hold it out. Up here through the ledge of the stage. And this time not approaching as much anymore, trying to space away. Oh, nice. Another up air. Floor is lava now. How are we going to get back onto solid ground? As you know, as history has shown, the FGC character is great when those feet are planted in the air. Completely different story. You tried it. Okay, and I denied it. Stop playing. Down tilt. Frame 3. Oh, back air. Perfectly spaced. Rinse and repeat. Here's the remix.
So many rolls already that we've seen from Grayson. Not able to clean up the stock there, but the down air out of nowhere. Some confidence from Jazzo to just jump off stage and throw that out. But you can see the download is, that progress bar has already gone across the screen quite a bit, given that game one, because there were a lot of situations that Jazzo didn't really force. He just had given to him, and he took advantage of them.
My man is activated, like you said, and very acclimated to winning these types of sets. So let's see what Jazzo's going to bring us here in this next game. Of course, this is Grayson. For those of you that don't know, we talk about a lot of Robs in the community. Grayson's one of the premier Robs, in my personal opinion. I'd almost argue maybe even top 5, depending on who you ask. So Grayson, of course, no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. This just happens to be a bit of a tough matchup in a lot of ways for Rob, if I may say so myself again. Ken, characters like Ryu, characters like Kazu, they were looking for those big bodies to outswing you. Even when it's your turn to swing, on a different character it is, but on me, it's not your turn. So I'm swinging with authority here. On top of that, in conjunction with how big of a body Rob is, it's kind of an easy task for Ken. However, we did see Grayson come alive when we got Jazzo off stage, but Jazzo is, he's shaking in his boots, or whatever he has on stage up there. He is shaking when he gets off stage, because he knows that opening exchange to that first game, gyro into spin, oh, brother. You're going to see a lot more of those coming soon.
Yeah, Grayson definitely wanted to take advantage of the fact that, Ken has a relatively poor recovery. And, you know, it is very worrisome as a big body when, that fighting game character does get in on you. Whether it's a Ryu or a Kazuya or a Terry or, yes, even a Ken, Jazzo has been showing off just how dangerous that can be. But it is up to Grayson to be able to say, okay, Jazzo's been picking up on a couple of habits to get him, which he needs to do, because Ken isn't just equipped. He's got speed, but not necessarily the tools to just break down the walls that Rob can put up, particularly that Rob's got a lot of much bigger hitboxes than Ken is able to deal with. And I think it is coming down to the fact that Jazzo's just had some incredible reads on Grayson's movement and defensive tendencies already.
Because there's a lot of places where Rob wants to be in this match. There's a lot of places he doesn't want to be. Nice baiting out the air dodge, but the party ain't done yet. Reverse Shoryu, and that's right. Sure, you're definitely dead right there. Beautiful stuff right here from a Jazzo. Electrifying opening, bringing the heat in a lot more ways than one. feedback onto solid ground. Gyro not there in time, but using the lasers to apply that pressure from the other side of the room. Wait a minute, Gyro falling up air? Jeez.
Yeah, that down toss on that gyro was such a great call.
Oh!
Jazzo following him all the way across the stage, and Grayson, even though he dropped that stock relatively early, able to keep things even going into the second, and will now look to just try and set up camp somewhere to get a piece of stage in his control without getting that blender started, but the KitchenAid is approaching you all the same, just like those fridges in the World Tour mode. The machines are scary.
The machines are here. Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines. Wait a minute, I'm rising to the top. Up and right to the shore. He doesn't quite get the knockback that he's looking for, giving Grayson just a little bit more rage. There's that nair. -4 on shield, so of course large and in charge, and most importantly, spaced properly, very safe. Down smash. Put on a little bit of percent right here, but I can't help but to feel like Grayson's just trying to create just as much space as humanly possible because of stuff like this. Another down tilt into the, you guessed it, the shore U is going to get the job done. Another nair. Bam. Down throw. Okay, looking for that heavy forward tilt. Jeez.
I'm loving the way that Jazzo's been able to pile on the pressure, not only getting, you know, all these reads on Grayson's timing and positioning and all that, but even just on a couple of specific moves that he realizes, okay, you're going to throw out this. This is my opportunity to get right back in there, start pressing some buttons again. And because Rob's got that big body, because he tends to get shield poked a little bit easier, Jazzo's just doing such a good job of taking advantage of it. And Grayson missed timing that punish on that shore U. You said it, Rod. When he's off stage, he should be dead, and that is exactly what just happened with Grayson getting that long-range snipe combo and now getting flicked off stage.
I know that's right, Jazzo. I
Jinrais.
know that's right. Don't play with me, man.
Let me Jinrai you.
Did I
to the
do
shield
that?
break.
Did I do that?
He's giving us the Hotashi treatment.
That's right.
Look directly at them. I don't know. He's trying so hard not to look back at the camera. You can do it one more time.
It's
That's okay.
Had an Abbott elementary. Had an Abbott elementary moment. Had to look right to the camera and say, "Yeah, that just happened right there." Getting schooled in a big way. Big stuff right there, of course, to Jazzo. Job ain't done yet, though. This is still Grayson. I got to give Jazzo as many flowers as possible because they played so well last week, and of course, keeping up that momentum here. But let's see if Grayson's going to rise to the occasion right here as we move into a potential final game for him.
Yeah, Grayson not happy with the way that last game ended. Sort of just immediately gave that universal run it back hand signal. And that is exactly where we're going. Hollow Bastion can be a great place for Rob to go. You've got plenty of space to work with. It's just a matter of taking advantage of it. And so far, Jazzo has just been doing a really good job of just cutting off all those avenues of escape for Grayson to use. And the damage has been racking up so quickly, much faster than Grayson's able to push Jazzo into the corner or get him off stage.
And it's so crazy to even think that you're out damaging Rob because, I mean, stuff like this happens. You know, you have standing jab, you have down tilt, you have up tilt. I mean, these are quick moves that chain into themselves. They don't need any help, any assistance from anything else. And yet, as it stands right here, it is Jazzo that is not only outputting the damage, but of course putting stocks to bed, as you can see. It's a smooth opening interaction. Of course, it ain't done yet. Frame 6 on the fair, but who cares? Of course, I have focus attack. Now, if you go for 2 fairs, I might be in trouble. But Grayson with a head full of lasers. Let's see what he's going to do with it. What? Wait a now wait a damn minute.
Is such a set killer there for Grayson. Now has to make a 3-stock-to-1 comeback against somebody who has been so reliably not only racking up damage but taking those stocks as well. Grayson pretty much has to play completely perfectly to stay alive in winners, and it's just not going to happen. Jazzo takes full advantage of that.
Of course, you know, has a lot more potency, I think, with his setups and his grenades. A character like Corrin swings with authority. They clear a lot of space, but the problem is that when you got grenades all over the place, do you really want to swing haphazard? I mean, it's in Corrin's repertoire to just swing with forward air. It's a move that demands a lot of respect, but what is respect when I got a grenade in my hand? I'm the person in the room that needs respect.
It's definitely one of those big things that Corrin, especially against people who, you know, she outranges in terms of just the raw hitboxes, loves to just kind of throw out moves to control that space and force you to respect it rather than just threatening it. Now, of course, Shadic has done really well in this matchup in the past, and part of that is down to the fact that he doesn't just play it down on that theoretical part of the matchup. He, as a player, does such a good job of using empty movement to force reactions out of you, and that's what he's going to focus on punishing. You see that this game is even right now, and it's because of that solid fundamental gameplay. Shadic, even in the disadvantage, able to clean up the stock. The improvisation is beautiful.
It is the yes and it is keep. I mean,
Whose combo is it anyway?
I mean, really. I mean, the Wayne Brady of comboing is here right now, okay? Who knew? Nice. There's the falling up air. Looking good right now. Right to it. Oh, nice. And again, that backer, auto spacing, the wonderful move that you need in the corner, especially versus Snake. Snake, when they do that neutral get up off the ledge, it's CQC time. I got my frame 3 jab, first hit of F tilt frame 4. I'm ready to tussle. I'm ready to throw down. Backer says, I'm not having none of it. There's down tilt. off your feet again, and not allowing MVD any easy access points back onto the stage. Again, Snake is a character you got to keep in the air because on the way down, grenades are coming. If you allowed him to swing those grenades first, you will be in a good spot, and Shadic knows exactly that.
I know a lot of people hear a top players say, hey, juggling Snake is actually pretty easy. His disadvantage is not great. We do see MVD eventually land and take that stock, and while Shadic fires back, I think it's a good time to appreciate Shadic doing exactly that, right? Knowing, okay, as long as I don't just throw out moves willy-nilly, right? Just, oh, he's about to be in the zone where my hitbox can cover, so now I throw it out. He is juggling, but he is not doing it by just throwing out a move at first instance. He is doing a great job of reacting and falling down with MVD to cover things after air dodges and grenade pulls. And with the lead that he's playing with, Shadic is happy to continue trading with all of these grenades because MVD is already near 100%.
This is exactly the spot you want to have Snake, and Snake is one of those characters. I mean, you don't want to allow any character-player combination of MVD stature to get the lead, but when it happens to a character like Snake, it becomes that much more apparent that he's going to get the lead and maintain it for so much longer. Corrin said, not on my watch, the falling up air at one of the lasting frames of it, catching MVD, and going up a game is Shadic. Smooth gameplay right here, game number 1. I mean, we talked about it, playing around those explosions. I mean, I think he heard us loud and clear and did it.
It's such beautiful stuff. Again, it was the juggle game that really defined that because, yeah, Snake does have some trouble landing sometimes. The grenades are a really, really good tool to bail him out, as well as a lot of those, B-reverse moves. But Corrin can kind of cover those ranges that even if Snake does kind of B-reverse and, change the momentum, start going somewhere else with that C4 drop and whatnot, Corrin can still cover that, and that was one of the big, advantages that you think about going into this matchup is that, yeah, once Snake gets up in the air, very hard for him to land, and Shadic pulling out every single piece of that toolkit to make it happen. So, not maybe being able to mix things up with the pin on a platform, for example, going on to Kalos.
Yes.
This is going to definitely help out MVD.
Got a lot more real estate right here to set up shop, and this shop is going to be very large as we get into this next game. A lot of ground to work with. Winner side top 32. Okay, and right now a lot of damage just fresh out the gate, not even 10 seconds in, and we've already put on quite a bit. Back towards center stage. Soft toss on a grenade too. Not wanting to throw them from the other side of the screen. Of course, you throw them too haphazardly. You do give your opponent the opportunity to toss them back at you, and now you kind of have to play their game. Corrin with the grenade, that's the stuff of nightmares right there. I don't want to know what comes of that.
I mean, you got to notice, one of the things that Shadic has thrown about as many grenades as MVD has because he's done this beautiful and very funny thing where MVD pulls a grenade, Shadic jumps at him, which threatens an aerial, so MVD naturally puts up the shield, has the grenade covering him, but when he puts up that shield, drops the grenade, and so Shadic just lands next to MVD, picks up the grenade, runs away, and throws it right back at him. It's a very funny interaction that he's already done like 5 or 6 times. You just saw it right there here on Kalos and is getting to do it again. He's playing with the lead, and it's down to little stuff like that where he is clearly very experienced in this matchup.
History has shown time and time again, Kamoy. It's the little things that start to add up into the big things after a while, and he stands right now. Again, not with the lead here anymore, able to up B through the Nikita. That's another aspect, I think, in MVD's toolkit that we talked about in doubles yesterday, that he's so proficient at his grenade, but really more so his C4 placement and, of course, his Nikita control. It feels really second to none in the realm of, top-tier upper echelon Snakes, and he's going to need a little bit more than that B button to get himself out of this deficit here. Nice. Oh, nice. I love that. Faking him out. No, not enough for the up tilt just yet. 4 more % will be cooking with the right grease. But I don't know if we're going to see it here on this stock. He's going to have to make a big play here and fast. Nothing off the backer. Grenade coming through to save his skin. Thanks, Otacon.
Woo. With that Dragon Fang shot doing just the same for Shadic. I love how he uses those to cover his way back on stage. And here comes the juggle game again. You see that up air? Shadic can still throw out another move after that. That is a non-committal juggle, and it is beautiful stuff.
Get off
that
me.
Right there, the forward smash was committal. And he rode the grenade up to the top just to take MVD up into the Sistine Chapel ceiling. Take a good look at Michelangelo's works of art, because Shadic, that juggle was also a work of art.
That juggle right there was some serious magic. Oh, my God. Got to give it to, okay, nice. Able to kill some of the momentum right there with the Nikita. Definitely needs that right there. Can't allow a player of Shadic's stature to get the lead and, more importantly, get the momentum and start allowing them to apply it thoroughly. Smiles on her face right there. Of course, they know it's all love at the end of the day. There's the dash attack coming through the grenade here. So I need this damage. Man, I need it today.
Shadic is playing around grenades better than I think I see 90% of Snake players use grenades. Like, it is an absolute work of art to see him use that item management to his full potential. And again, these juggles just seem inescapable for MVD. Shadic not able to find a follow-up on that light Dragon Fang shot, but man, at 84% MVD, it does not seem like he is making up this deficit, even with Shadic noticing that C4. Again, this matchup just seems one that he is so comfortable with in a way that I've never seen really anybody, especially an Ultimate player, a non-Brawl vet, playing this matchup so well. Like, any of you old heads out there watching this, I hope you're shedding a tear of joy.
I mean, because this is exactly what we're playing for right here, for young players of this stature to really come through and lay the foundation for themselves the next so many years. Shadic just turned 17, so almost a grown man right here, but definitely a grown man in the stack, on the sticks, excuse me. Okay, trying to get back onto the ground. Can't quite find some easy access. Has to disengage all the way to the right side of the screen, but that's okay because you have grenades to cover that space between you and Shadic. They're on the way in. Hold shield right to the back air, and back air lasts quite a bit of time.
I like the idea there by Shadic to try to roll through the hitbox of the grenade and use his own intangibility. Didn't quite work out, but again, still playing with a big lead. Can't let your guard down against MVD because down throw and up throw, they're not going to do it quite yet. Maybe now if Shadic gets that throw, it could do it, but he's got to be oh so careful because MVD, I mean, one C4 in just the right place can make all the difference, Rod.
No, 100%. Again, it's all about how you place those things perfectly. I mean, we've seen it in doubles, and it feels like MVD's starting to kind of lean into it a bit more, especially the survivability bit. I mean, there's a lot of snakes out there in the world, but when it comes to double snakes, I don't think anybody does it quite as well as MVD. And, of course, no teammate. It's just him, Otacon, and Mei Ling in the headset. But still looking pretty good right now at 180%. This stock is well past done. It is charred, if you will, and still hanging on here for dear life off of your feet. Or are you going to lose your seat right here in game number 2? Goes deep. Nah, I'm chilling, bro.
Yeah, the single hit of that pin, because it's not tipper, wasn't enough to do it, but the back air does send MVD hurtling into the blast zone. Shadic with a well-fought 2-0 lead right now. And again, I mean, even though MVD kept that close and really brought it back, like, okay, yeah, Shadic played that matchup beautifully, but you got to give it up to MVD. We've been talking a lot about how Shadic's been playing this matchup, but man, the fact that MVD kept that close, despite how many things that Shadic was doing right, I think really speaks to just the resiliency and that belief in that just consistent building up game plan that MVD executes.
You know, I said yesterday, you know, tenacity only really prolongs the inevitable, but I think I had the roles flipped in that case. I think MVD just has that level of, like you said before, that brawl. I mean, really before brawl, he's been playing, but brawl is where he really rose to prominence, that brawl vet resiliency. You know, and again, being able to kind of, you know, cool your jets a little bit in a way where, okay, I know I'm not doing well, and I know the narratives more than anything else certainly speak to the favor of, you know, Shadic. Shadic is trying his damnedest to put on this percent and to be aggressive. Now is my perfect opportunity to start playing out of shield and lean into my CQC, and we've seen just that. Hopefully we can see that here and maybe in the beginning part of the match, because I can't help but to feel like the beginning portion certainly belongs to Shadic. There's the nair on the way back. We getting all the kicks. It's leg day, my boy. Okay, gets the pin. Rolling away from the ledge, going to go for the forward throw, looking for the taxi on the platform. Knew that he was going to try to air dodge in, and that first stomp him down there, frame 3. And here's all the frames of pain right here on this pin to kick.
I love this by Shadic. I mean, again, just not overdoing it in any of these situations, not really selling out for anything, because he knows that, hey, if MVD's going to do this slow and steady game plan, you know, Shadic is like, hey, Corrin can also match that right now. But forward throw off stage, Nikita, this is MVD's signature move. It's a good move on Snake, but MVD uses it better than anybody else. Tons of shield damage, so great job right there by Shadic to escape, but this is definitely time for MVD. I was about to say, put on the pressure, but got caught backing up by that pin. Shadic placing it beautifully, just as MVD beautifully places a Nikita to read that jump. Game dead even here in game number 3.
That's right. Again, we're starting to bring out all the stops, and for good reason. I think momentum has kind of been such a key factor, a key component in this match, especially on the side of Shadic. But MVD kind of dousing those flames and force him to kind of play the up-close and personal game. Not to say that Corrin doesn't want to play that. I just don't know if you want to play it versus Snake. I'm going to put it that way. Of course, making the floor just a battle zone. Going to go for the down throw again, leaning into what you talked about before, doing a proficient job at playing around the explosions, but is it going to be enough? These percents starting to speak into the favor of MVD. Gets the pin. No kick here this time. Back air. I'm on his top platform, but no up air. We got to keep it on solid ground.
I think what it comes down to is that MVD is using these grenades quite a bit differently as well. He's not necessarily just kind of tossing them at Shadic. He's really just using them to occupy a place on stage to cut off options for where Shadic can go, and then just playing a CQC Snake on top of that and saying, okay, this is not an option for you unless you want to take that hit, but otherwise I'm just going to assume you're going to go somewhere else. And if you didn't see that C4 getting stretchered off the stage, well, don't worry, neither did Shadic, and MVD taking advantage.
MVD taking advantage and taking the lead here, more importantly, at 100%, depending on the right Snake. 100% lead could feel like a 200% lead, depending on the stature of the opponent. MVD is one of those players you just cannot afford to give the lead to. Nice. Learn his lesson. Don't play with Shadic in this magnifying glass. Forward throw.
Oh, so smart there by Shadic. Remember, I was just talking earlier about MVD changing up the way he was using those grenades. Well, first of all, great read on that grounded game there to get that up tilt, send Shadic into that top blast zone. But all of that came off an interaction where, again, he was using those grenades in Game 3 much differently than the previous two. Where in the previous two, he was trying to rack up damage. He was trying to let Shadic just kind of dig his own grave by swinging the sword into them. And you know, just kind of taking advantage of that disjoint, like we were talking about in that matchup. But in that Game 3, he started using it a lot more like he would against a very mobile character. You say like a Sonic or something, right?
Yes.
Or maybe a Fox, where you set it to just cut off the avenues of approach and escape, and then following up off of that. And right there in that last interaction, Shadic chose to roll into the grenade because he knew MVD would look for him going away from the grenade, and MVD was able to capitalize on that and take the game off of it. And the layers, Rod, it's looking like a cake boss dessert.
That's it. Life has many layers, Ed boy. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. It just feels like, you know, when it comes to the up-close and personal game, I think, you know, Shadic doesn't mind playing it. I think, you know, Shadic, you know, Corrin specifically has a lot of options that, you know, can allow some great CQC. Down tilt, up tilt. You know, Nair's really good. Fair is very safe on shield. Falling up here is very, very safe. I mean, you have some tools to box. The problem is that you are now playing MVD's game, and you've elected to step into the ring with somebody who has really set the scene to his favor. I got grenades in this corner, C4s in this corner, Nikita in that corner, and then you got me in this corner right here. You don't want no problems, okay? So let's see.
Sounds like all the corners you can cover.
That's right, and I'm gonna tell you right now, MVD has them all covered.
Do they make shapes that have more than 4 corners?
You know, maybe. I should have paid attention to geometry class. I think so. Something about rising and running and y equals mx plus b right here, man. The mathematical equation is proven right now that Shadic, of course, is winning. But MVD, of course, definitely has a second lease on life depending on how this match goes. We can push this to a game number 5.
Ooh, okay, MVD, yes. Already saw that tech was happening over there, but Shadic really well timing that neutral getup. Interesting to see that we're going back to Kalos right here, given that Shadic, yes, he did win here on game number 2, but MVD did also choose to go there. So now I'm wondering, is he going to stick with that same game plan with those grenades? Is he going to be trying to cut off avenues of escape, or is he going to go back to what we saw in that game number 2, where it was admittedly very close, and try and use those grenades and all those explosives to rack up damage instead of cut off space?
Well, let's see how it goes right now, because Nikita's certainly getting busy. Now, of course, not quite with the lead, but of course, when you have the space needed to, you know, kind of escape away from Shadic, you'll always be in a good spot. Of course, soft toss on a grenade, trying to cut off axes right there on our top platform. Frame 6 of pain, right up the behind. Love that. There's the up tilt. It's looking good, man.
And Shadic, yes, again, that empty movement, knowing that, okay, MVD's got control of all those areas, and there's that grenade to cut off what was almost certainly going to be a stock right there. Once Corrin starts charging that chainsaw on your shield, there is no escape. You're going to go to the blast zone, unless you happen to be playing a 2v1, and MVD never leaves home without his best friend, M70 Frag.
That is facts right there, man. You'd be ill-advised to leave, especially when you know that your opponent is going to be Shadic. Now, does have the lead right here, and we've seen how important 164, 180% is to MVD. He can really milk this to extremely dark red percent. Hell, if not sudden death percent. Oh, but it ain't going to be on that stock right there. Shadic putting it right to bed. As you can see right now, even the stocks across the board. Grenades kind of proving that, you know, Corrin, right now, great character, but going to struggle a little bit in the distance game. You got double the grenade, and of course, you got Nikita right here pushing you out of position, which is everything in the matchup versus Snake in the corner. Looking for back air. Doesn't get anything off of it. There's a grenade. A little too high for the follow-up, and then, yes, looking for the turnaround F-tilt, probably anticipating Shadic going for a short hop fair, or Nair just looking for some anti-air or something, but a little misposition. Uh-oh.
Excellent tech and good recovery. Shadic does love this stage on Kalos to be able to use that pin to just kind of launch into the side of Kalos, use that as an extra double jump, but 160% plus, all MVD has got to do is get his hands on you. Press that little blue button on the GameCube controller, press down on the gray stick, and then your stock will be gone after that. So Shadic down to his last stock here. MVD potentially working on a reverse 3-0 if he can continue the momentum that he's had in this game so far. But Shadic right now using the pin on that platform, as we've seen so many times, to mix up the timing and get some extra height on that juggle to threaten MVD and kill him in places where most characters would not be able to reach him that high into the sky.
It is important that you chase a character like Snake down all parts of the stage, not only on the stage, off stage too, but also up in the magnifying glass. If you know you have the ability to get up there, don't let Snake land for free. And Shadic, of course, leaning into that narrative beautifully. Going to go for the fair, but not before eating some percent. Smart stuff on MVD, knowing when it's time to expend a little bit of damage versus when it's time to just get the heck out of the way.
Whoa!
Did you just up B? Don't, wait a minute.
Oh, the Foxfall never fails. It is one of the most powerful tactics in all of Smash Brothers. Up B into the sky, and your opponent will not catch you on the way down because they don't have any idea what you just did.
Oh my goodness, there's the down smash off the mark, anticipating the roll. And the only person on the roll right now is Shadic as they roll into the next part of winners. It's all love right here, Stride Esports. Shadic's going to move on if he's going to drop to losers a billion times, man. The ultimate gaming, anime, culture event down there in the Dirty South. In Atlanta, okay, where the players play and they write on them things like every day. We got ourselves 2 champions right here in their own right. Raph, of course, a Momocon champion, and we got Lima, a first attack in Puerto Rico champion as well, too. Some of those guys are here in the audience, so let's go ahead and get it, man. Bayonetta and Sonic, a matchup for the ages.
And might I add, an Evo champion,
yes.
if you remember your history.
Can't
so
forget about that.
Lima has won on the biggest stages out there, and Wrath has most recently gotten a taste of that, so we will see who will come out on top. Lima, now I do know that he has had some matches against Wrath in the past, if I'm not mistaken. I do know that Lima enters Wi-Fi tournaments every now and then, not often, but you know, definitely does not farm coin box the way that Wrath does at times. But I do believe that these two have played a couple of times. I'm not sure on the set history though, so we're just gonna kind of have to see how they duke it out here as the set unfolds. One thing I do know, Rod, is that Lima loves for the game to be played. He does not like to wait around, so how he is going to try to open up Wrath as he guns himself into the corner is going to be key.
It is going to be key for sure, and I think Raph definitely knows that. He knows that he has the speed advantage in a lot of areas versus Bayonetta. Of course, fair being frame 5, frame 3 jab. Of course, you got, you know, your homing attack, you got back. You got a lot of options where you really have the edge on Bayonetta in the speed department. And also with that speed, there's a lot of potency there too, courtesy of that F smash, even tilting it down right there to catch Bayo. But Bayo, she's queen of the strings right here, man. She's Geppetto, if you will. When she starts to pull them, things start to get really bad for the other side. And as you can see right now, Lima finally putting on some percent. A little late into the game, but finally here. Okay, here's the witch twist, looking for the double afterburner kick. Probably in an attempt to get Raph off stage. Of course, Raph, no hitbox on that recovery, though spring is frame 4. When you got that active hitbox that is nair or back here on the ready on the way down, it's kind of hard to work around. Okay.
See, so far, I mean, Wrath has definitely got Lima at kill percents, but something that you can't do as Sonic is just run away a ton and then build up damage and then all of a sudden start going in, because that is, you know, one of the most predictable times for you to do so. Lima will eat that up, so Wrath is trying to play it nice and slow and does so. About 2 minutes into this first game, does take that first stock with that forward tilt, and it's going to be up to Lima to try to get this next one done before Wrath gets an advantage big enough to just kind of not interact anymore.
That's right, 123% right now. Wrath, I mean, just again, really leaning into a lot of this rage. And you know, it's strange to see it kind of done the way that Wrath is doing it, only because, you know, there's points in time where the match is very aggressive, and there's going to be points in time where Wrath decides to cool his jets a little bit, despite having a stock advantage, and still force you to lean into the narrative that I'm in control of the pacing of this. You have to play my game, and Lima said, I'm down to play. If you like it, I love it. There's back here, of course. We got ourselves even stocks right now. Let's see what it's going to be, because down tilt, not quite finding the mark. Sonic just a little too fast for that. Falling up air. Looking for a second one. Always hard to figure out which way Bayonetta is going to land. Of course, she might come down with the down air. She could go for afterburner kick. She could go for quarter circle afterburner kick. I mean, she has a lot of ways to get back onto solid ground.
Okay, you're going to have to see. And part of the key right here is, again, just finding those small gaps in that defensive play from Wrath. Because, yeah, it's not often going to be Sonic running towards it, trying to open you up. You're going to have to find those moments where you figure out exactly where he's trying to move to. Nice utilization of the bats within right there to get out of there. And Lima continuing a little bit of pressure, but not able to do it to the tune of anything that can threaten a kill on Wrath just yet, who is definitely got Lima in a compromising spot here. Anytime that Bayo's at the ledge, Lima could be in trouble.
Yeah, and Lima looking for some trouble, though, himself. Going deep right there for the back air. Like I said before, no hitbox on Sonic's recovery, so it is susceptible to a lot of damage. But, of course, up B is a very, very fast option, so was able to narrowly escape death. But wait a minute, we got the bit of a rinse and repeat. Try to catch him all the way up, as you can see, very well aware of the spring. Raph just a little too speedy right there for Lima, and I'm loving that. Nothing off the up tilt. I'm in your face, and yes, don't charge on me, bro. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Great stuff right here on Raph, 142% and climbing. Let's see what Lima's going to do right here to close this out. We just need one up tilt back here. We should be good to go.
Even just those single hit forward airs, like you're saying, that can also be a thing that Lima hunts for to try to open Wrath up, because, you know, any sort of panic defensive option right there, an air dodge, trying to mash a button afterwards, Lima can immediately get something to follow up afterwards. But man, Wrath's positioning on this, you know, it's not even just the defense. It's also been anytime that he gets up into that scramble with Lima, his positioning has been so good, staying in those Bayo blind spots where Lima can't just throw out something like a jab or a back air or even a witch time, try and stop Wrath from doing what he's doing. He is just exactly in those exact areas, and I say exact one more time, and I'll say it a fourth time, exactly where Lima doesn't want him.
That's right. I mean, it's all about picking your points of position perfectly right here between these two characters for two very different reasons. But of course, the reasons are all the same and really prove the fact that, yo, if you're in the wrong position versus Sonic, you're not in a good spot. Let's just call it for what it is. Sonic up close and personal is dangerous. Sonic, when he has the distance on you, when he has a lot of space to rip and run, you're not in a good spot. Sonic on a stage like this with platforms, you're not in a good spot, okay? So you got to be careful at all points. Lima doing just that, forcing us down to maybe as even as the game has been since the match started. You know, one stock apiece, 30-something%, and now Lima with a little bit of a lead. Let's see what they do with it.
It's honestly never gotten too out of hand, but yeah, Lima getting to play with the lead is definitely going to be key for him, especially as the timer ticks down. You always have that opportunity of saying, okay, I'm only going to strike, you know, when the opportunity looks right. And Wrath, if you want to take your time, then yeah, that timer gets to tick down. But honestly, the more this goes on, the more it looks like that timer is not going to be an option for Wrath. Lima continuing to rack up that percentage lead, and with the Sonic off stage, tons of recovery routes, cutting off one of them with the bullet climax. Now the question is, can Lima cut off a route one time to close out that stock?
But all it takes is just the once, and I think Lima's trying to get in position for it. But again, now you have to try to chase down Sonic, and this is a task very few in this game are good at. And I'm saying good very, very loosely, because there's not really a lot of characters in that corner. Knocking off the back air. Of course, we're back towards center stage here, where Wrath wants to stay as safe as possible, but match is starting to get a little out of control. The back air beating out the camera there that time, sending it sky high. Lima goes up a game, but I'll tell you what, it was a hard-fought one.
That camera was definitely like the Messi making the drive down the field, fake pass, and then the camera goes, oh, where are we going? Shoot? Oh, it's just all over left and right. But Lima definitely with that deke with the cameraman does get that game number one. Really hard fought. And again, you know, like you said, Wrath definitely had control of the pace of the match.
Yes.
Really for all of that first 5.5 minutes. And it was really only down to that last 30 seconds where Lima got that lead that he was able to just kind of say, okay, now you can't run away. Now I know sort of the areas where you're going to kind of have to play. And if you do decide to spin dash at me full stage, I don't need to be afraid of you wasting time and stopping short, because I'm just going to air dodge right through it. You're going to come at me. And then was able to close out that game number one. So really good stuff from him there. And Wrath, you know, if he wants to stick to that long game plan, not wanting to run into those big Bayo hitboxes, gonna have to commit to it a little harder.
100%, man. Bayonetta is just one of those characters who wants to play the long game. I think she becomes stronger when she's not playing super duper aggressive. I mean, an aggressive Bayo, of course, is always a fun thing to watch because, hell, it makes our job just a little bit easier up here on comms. But all jokes aside, man, a proficient Bayo is one that's going to be very patient and let the damage come to them, even when it comes to being off stage. As you can see right there, of course, not sweating it at all, getting back onto the stage in the corner. And of course, moving back towards the middle. This is exactly where both players want to be. They know how dangerous the other side is in the corner, especially Wrath. We have seen all the Sonic players of all statures get you in the corner. We start to see the F tilt. We start to see the F smash. Hell, even just to run off the stage forward. There's one right there. First hits frame 5. Not a lot of characters in the game can answer back before forward air comes out. So Wrath definitely knows his advantage. The real question is, can he hold on to it? And I think the real question is, damn, what is Lima going to do to bring himself out of this hole?
Oh, all he can do right now, just for this moment, is hold that. Wrath gets to hold the advantage, and Lima has to hold that. You air dodge right into that forward smash, and he was winding it up like a Y iota, and you still ran right into it. So Wrath definitely finding the correct read in that moment. Noticed how many times Lima was just willing to take a hit off stage.
Wait.
No. We're talking about Bayonetta.
That's right. Sorry.
We're talking about Bayonetta. She'll make that back.
I got a little ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I got caught in the hype. But, you know, so it was a cool thing to see. It was like a dunk at the All-Star game.
I think that was very – dude, by the way, that reminded me. I was at the 2006 All-Star game, and I distinctly remember a moment where Shaquille O'Neal had a free throw, and he just instead of trying to, you know, hit the free throw, just threw it off the backboard, ran up, alley-ooped it to himself, dunked it, and the refs were like, no, No, that doesn't count. Nobody cared. They're like,
Nobody
it's the
did.
All-Star game.
It's Shaq.
We just saw Shaq just like dunk on literally 10 players at once.
You can't argue with Shaq. Many have tried it, many have failed. You can't. You won't win. Okay. Shaq.
That's
I mean,
me screaming.
That's Shaq Shaqing up. Okay. You can't. He's Shaqing a fool. Same could be said right here for Raph having his absolute way. He said, I've had my ways and I've had my days. And right here, I'm trying to get to that spot and bracket that page. Grand finals, first place.
Bars,
and it's
7
looking good.
10.
That's right. Thank you, man.
I'll give it up for that one. Not going to lie. Man, honestly, you want to talk about somebody who has been very much impressed me with the gameplay right now. Gotta be Wrath. You see how much quicker the timer has been going in this game, right? That in that last one, when we got to somebody on last stock, it was like, 2.5, 3 minutes left in the game. Wrath has definitely said, okay, so Lima has been willing to match me on that slow defensive gameplay style. Wrath definitely getting way more aggressive in this game. I mean, just that stock that we thought might have gotten taken off stage, and how about that one off stage right there as well with a nice little combo. Wrath said, okay, you can match the slow gameplay. How about I turn up the heat? And then how about a 3 stock to boot?
How about a 3 stock? Again, it's like, just don't be mad when I pull a U on you. You had your time, you had your ways, but now I'm getting ready to do what you do, okay? And now it doesn't quite feel as good. So clean stuff right there, of course, to wrap the 3 stock, the very definitive message sent right there. You have to play right here for all the lunch money here, Mr. Lima. And Lima's going to have to really rise to the occasion because you can't have a good opening and then get smacked up 3-0 and then go into this next game with being anything less than confident. Let's see what this next one will bring.
Interesting to see Small Battlefield be the pick. I think that most people would say, yeah, take Sonic to a smaller stage. Why not? He wants to run away. He wants to play the slow game. Haha, now you can't. But again, you got to remember, that game number 2 was not at all a slow-played game. Wrath was willing to be very aggressive. Now, one of the things that Lima will get out of this stage is that, or rather what Wrath will lose, is that you can't be as precise with your positioning as Sonic on a smaller stage. You have to be wary of where your escape zones are, where you have to stop your spin dash so that you can actually land back on the ground. And, of course, just where those platforms are, where you're able to get up close to this Bayonetta, who right now Lima says, yeah, seems like a pretty good stage to me. I've got hitboxes that cover a quarter of it at any given time, so I'll take my 74% to start the game.
Well, and I also kept it real, too. I mean, you see an aggressive Sonic, you really have to ask yourself, do I really have the tools right now with my character? Maybe not me as a player, but does my character have the tools to stop aggressive Sonic? Because he's going to out-button your favorite character probably more times than not. And we got to see that beautifully right here from Raph. However, Lima said those buttons are great only when your feet are on the ground for the most part. As long as I don't let you back on the solid ground, you in some real trouble. Nice, pushing himself out of position. We're seeing a lot more afterburner kick here in the air. Yeah, so this is good. Threatening that space. There's up air, dash attack 2, I believe 5 frames. So quicker options here on Sonic's behalf, but doesn't seem to matter. Lima right now in complete control. He's got to figure out a way to get this stock taken. Of course, always on the ready for up tilt back here or back here just in the raw. Gets the job done through the platform. These platforms belong to me, my friend. Nice. Up B out of shield. Wait,
ooh.
Huh? Now wait a minute.
Yeah,
now,
not able to make it back. Burned too much. Bayos, they do that sometimes, and it's always unfortunate to see, but sometimes they just got to get it out of their system. Right there, very unfortunate SD for Lima, who definitely had the opportunity to play with a big lead. But, yeah, if you want to drop your question marks and your lulls in chat, then it's well-deserved. Do it now.
That's right. We implore it. Please, get in there and do it.
What if I used all my resources off stage, forehead?
That's right. What would happen if we're in a game like Super Smash Brothers?
Okay.
Oh, nice. Going to go deep there that time. Frame 4 in the spring, but it doesn't seem to matter. Again, the active hitbox that is Witch Twist had you covered.
Frame 4 as well on that, and that is an exact scenario that we saw on the first stock, Rod, where Lima had that exact nair to get Wrath off stage, knew that that recovery was going to go low because you don't want to contest with that hitbox. The first time Lima whiffed, did not know the timing that Wrath was going to use that up B at. That second time, just threw out the Witch Twist to say, this is a lingering hitbox. I'm not even going to worry about it. Really good adaptation right there to keep the game even.
That's right. And even better adaptation right there from Lima, not air dodging into that F smash there that time. Wrath, I mean, every Sonic is different, but one thing about Wrath, he's phenomenal at just holding place and letting the damage come to him, even if it's center stage. Now, of course, we get to see Wrath at their most dangerous in the corner, that F tilt, and of course, that tilted down F smash, a very tough thing to work around if you aren't ready. Center stage, though, he said, look, I've conditioned you well enough. It's time for you to give me that air dodge. It's time for you to relinquish that stock. 2 stocks apiece right here. Wait a minute, we going deep. Are we going to pineapple ourselves? No, this is Bayonetta. But you always wonder, though.
You always have to wonder, right? Especially as somebody who doesn't play Bayonetta. I don't always know exactly how many recovery resources she has available. Like Wrath right there, threatening that rollback back throw. That could definitely take the stock, but so too can the back air. Wrath doing a really good job. You remember early in the set I was talking about escape zones for Sonic. The same goes for Bayonetta, utilizing the ABKs, whether that's upwards or downwards, all of that. Wrath has done a really good job of catching on to how Lima is doing that on this smaller stage, keeping up with him, and that back air was a really good example of it.
Yeah, back air, of course, has just been placed in a way where it's just very difficult for the other side to get around. Not even needing up tilt anymore. Back air is just really all that's needed. Nice, another which was again a lot of this. Okay, there it is. I was getting ready to say a lot of tit for tat damage, but I'm wondering what's going to come after the double witch twist. We've seen Lima drop a couple of those. Was able to find a back here. Mentions might be sent right here loud and clear to Wrath. You might want to watch yourself, especially as you're trying to jump over me. Great options come out of Sonic's aerials. I mean, we get those feet leave the ground. You get to see up there, you get to see forward or cross up, back, or you name it. But if my witch twist is already ready, you're going to be in for a world of hurt.
That's all that matters right now for Lima, right? It's just throwing out the, hey, I don't really care if it's something that's going to take the stock at this very moment. Just want to play patient and just play a little bit of defense because realistically, again, this is one of those games that's not likely to go to time. So you just want to wait and see if if Wrath, I'm getting my Southern players mixed up here, if Wrath is going to give you something to capitalize on. And that right there, Lima throwing out that back air to catch that escape. Going down to last stock. 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Again, not likely to be relevant, but something to keep in mind.
Now, is this where Wrath, maybe starts to let go of the lead a little bit, the same way that we've seen Lima do that in that game? I mean, we've seen this narrative kind of play out before. Early on the F smash, so right on time to hold position. Doesn't get anything off the dash and hold shield. And you got to watch out for Bayonetta's throw. Oh, wait a minute. And throwing that game away is Lima. Wrath looking good, taking a sip of that water. He said it ain't nothing right here. Ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Lima, it's kind of hard to read his expression because he's got the sunglasses on, but I was trying to take a peek at the player cam, and it seems like he just kind of had didn't expect that. Yeah. Haven't really seen that one before, so yeah, wasn't ready for it. Like, you got me. And that I think really goes to just show the sort of how the dynamic developed near the end of that game, which was for Wrath, you had a choice of, like you said, right, one option is to say, well, this game could end up kind of going back to getting tied up, but maybe I wait and see if Lima gets impatient, kind of gives a mistake to capitalize on, or do I go aggressive, try to force a mistake, and know that, as Wrath in that situation, being an aggressive Sonic, you might give Lima that opportunity to get back into the game. And he made his piece. He said, I'm going aggressive, and it worked out.
And it's paying off right here on Lima's behalf. I mean, catching that spot dodge and, of course, keeping the damage going, that's one thing you got to give to Bayo. You give her that air dodge. Yeah, so many hitboxes flying at you at the same time. You're going to get caught in that F5 twister. That is Wiz Twist. And you're going to end up on the receiving end of a lot of pain. Now, Wrath, of course, still holding strong. Of course, 125% is nothing, especially for a character who is in themselves their own projectile. Having that ability to break away and disengage while, being virtually unscathed in a lot of ways. If you want that damage, you got to come and get it. And if Wrath starts playing defensively, Lima might be in for a world of trouble. Nice. Okay, going to fly right through. The Witch Twist gets right up underneath Bayonetta. Falling up her, and yes, I see you lurking. I know Witch Twist is either coming or probably afterburner kick. Either way, I'm narrowly escaping that. But for not much longer, up tilt back here, you know how it goes.
Finally catching some of that movement from Wrath, picking up on some of those habits. And again, the benefit of having a stage like Small Battlefield where those escape zones for Sonic are very limited and you can kind of get a read on where he's going to go. And Lima doing such an excellent job of that, building up early percent and, like you mentioned there, Rod, getting that up tilt into back air to get that first stock. Definitely Lima showing off that this is the right stage choice for him, and he is taking advantage of it.
That's right. Full-fledged aggression right here. Whoa, but coming out from Wrath's side. Wrath right here bringing the pain. Top of the blast on the course, taking that spring right and getting that job done right here. He said, look, if you're going to win, I'm going to put up a valiant effort. We're going to push this to a game 5. But I think with the way Wrath is playing, there's a good chance this match might be done. Lima right now disengaging a little bit. Still has the lead, and nice. Playing that game of chicken, no longer afraid of the ground game that Sonic brings. We talk so much about how strong Sonic is in the air, but having a character that can stay on the other side of the room and still kind of work your nerve a type of way is huge. Beat him in the game of chicken, but narrowly escaping that up smash. It's Wrath.
I mean, Lima had the right read. It was just at a slightly too high percent for that to work because Wrath was able to DI away from that big fist. But, I mean, man, how close that was to taking that stock. And instead, because Lima barely misses that, could be Wrath to take here. Does have to go for that deep recovery. Witch Twist, has he burned his double jump? Yes, so that is a goodbye Sonic.
Right, that is a dead hedgehog, unfortunately enough. But still in it, though, has one stock left. You can't hang out at that ledge for free, my friend. No loitering, catches him with the down tilt Incineroar Palutena style. You better get up off that ledge. I'm coming to get you. Okay, tilts down to F smash. Has been able to land another one of those since that opening interaction in game number 1. But still looking good here. 194%. Bayonetta, very light character, so you can get this done relatively easy. You can get your hands on her.
And that is exactly what Raph is going to try to do. But again, doesn't want to overcommit, but these combos off stage, I mean, just I think that's the spin charge that you're getting into the forward air that he has gotten a couple of times. And yeah, Raph just doing such an excellent job of finding those confirms off stage. Lima reacting to that DI, chasing Raph down. Double jump gone, but not able to take advantage of it any further. Great fastball air dodge to get down to the stage and just at least get those resources back, even if Lima continues that edge guard.
Right, goes for the throw and then baits out the air dodge there that time too. Gets the one up here, of course, not wanting to overextend. I think at this point in time in the match, it's all about just going for what you know is going to work. And then if it's time to get fancy, be sure you do it when you have absolute advantageous everything. I mean, I'm talking like on the stage, off stage, you name it. You know, when the narrative is really speaking to your favorite, that's when you can really hold forward. But as it stands, Raph is kind of pulling his punches here a little bit. Up tilt. Can't say the same for Lima. He gets the up tilt. Double afterburner kick. Go off the mark. Should see a forward throw. Yes, forward throw in the corner. And I mean, the dive kick. Look, I can't afford to be off stage anymore.
And yeah, one more of those could definitely seal it out for Raph. Another one of those combos into a forward air could do it. So now Lima's got to be careful about how that ground game is played. But hold on a second. A back air could definitely be the setup he needs. He'll be able to make it back, and I like going to the other side of the stage. Make Raph work for it.
That's right. Forward throw off the stage. Bullet climax? No. Trying to set up an aerial here, but stops right in place. Frame 9 on the jab. Not the fastest jab in the world, but once you're in it, you're in it. I mean, 10 years ago, there was no way I would have said I was going to be a fighting game commentator, and yet here we are. I mean, high school, I thought I was going to be a rapper. I thought I was going to be a fashion designer, and yet here I am commentating fighting games. My favorite game right here, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, of course, with my good friend Kimona. Game number 1 is here. We're on the loser side of things if you're just tuning in. MuteAce and Iceless get ready to give us a show. Let's see how it all goes.
Top 8 qualifier. Really, really big tournament for Iceless to be able to make it this far, right? But yeah, had a good bracket. I think did benefit from one DQ in the bracket. I don't remember if it was the Riddles DQ or the Dark Wizzy DQ in bracket. It was one of those two, I believe. Also might have been the Shoe DQ, but I think it was one of the first two. Regardless, though, Iceless taking advantage of that. It got a 3-0 win in the winner's bracket, and now just needs to get one more W to make it there. But does have to go up against somebody who is, I mean, just as fundamentally solid as it gets. And that also goes into just saying, here's how I play the matchup, and I'm going to stick to it. You see MuteAce taking it slow, because if you get up close, things start happening.
That's right. Whatever Popo doesn't have covered, Nana definitely has them covered. And whatever you think you might have covered on them, you also have to take into consideration the D-Sinks. Oh, there is one right there, up tilt into the up smash. Shades of what's to come for sure. Of course, they have a very commanding lead, forcing MuteAce to play in the corner, which isn't on paper the worst thing in the world for, you know, to do versus MuteAce. Peach has some great options out of shield, but yeah, I mean, what is a shield in the game of rock, paper, scissors? You shield, I grab, and then here's the hammer. You know how that goes. But kiss the crown, said Peach. Forwarder, bringing it down. Let's see how this next interaction is going to go here. You got to get rid of the one in blue.
Definitely we see Iceless showing off a bit of, you know, why we call this character Teamwork Kazuya. Some people call it Hard Kazuya. I prefer Teamwork Kazuya. But on the other hand, yeah, MuteAce definitely doing a good job of focusing down on the Nana, dealing a lot of damage. Because you see, right, the Popo does not have a ton of damage built up. By the way, I don't care if that's Popo or Nana on this skin. I'm always calling it Popo. You're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, hold that. It's Popo, okay, around here.
It's Popo every time. But yeah, right. MuteAce doing a really good job of taking out the second climber, the Nana, and then saying, okay, once that's done, then spacing becomes a lot easier. I don't have to be as afraid to be near that solo climber, and building up that damage is just going to be a natural part of what happens next.
No, I'm so glad you said that, too, because in the beginning of Ultimate, there was like, you know, there is a little difference between Peach and Daisy. Of course, it was the turn-up thing, or it's double-edged dance, it's not dancing blade.
Then they took it out.
And then they took it
out.
On
the Peach and Daisy thing, they were like, oops, we didn't mean to make them different.
That's right. And now and then there was the double-edged dance versus dancing blade. And I was like, it's Popo and 9. I said, look, what we're not going to do.
Don't make our job harder.
Micromanage the costumes, okay? Look, it's Popo, it's Nana. Let's just be happy they got more costumes. And more importantly, let's be happy they're back in the game.
I'm like, feel free to tell me when I'm wrong about something that matters.
That's right.
You know, if I'm calling one of them Popo and calling one of them Nana, it's going to be more confusing if I call them that correctly. Because then people are going to be like, well, that was the primary climber. Is he stupid?
That's right. don't give YouTube any ammunition.
What was he cooking?
I'm trying to tell you. You're going to hear about it sooner or later.
I sure am, and I invite them to say anything because I don't care.
Hey, I know that's right. Great stuff right here from Iceless, of course, still maintaining this very comfortable lead. And I say comfortable not because of the distance in the lead that they have, but really just how well they're holding on to it. Playing very well out of shield. There's Nair. Looking for the freeze. Just looking for these little things right here to really get up underneath MuteAce's skin. Of course, MuteAce, as calm, cool, and poised as they are on and off the sticks, in a lot of ways, they're going to lean forward and start to get super aggressive in the way that we know only Peach can do. We're not quite seeing it yet because, of course, you got to counter swings a little differently versus the Ice Climbers, but it's coming soon.
I was about to say, in this matchup, I would be surprised if we saw it literally at all because, again, MuteAce is one of those players that will stick to a game plan when it's there, and the game plan is don't get touched by Ice Climbers because Peach does not have the range to really contest them sometimes with that forward air, but that can become very telegraphed. It is a slow move, and you have to space it correctly, and Iceless, the spacing has been excellent so far as well. Hold that Ice Cube.
Hold that. It's a cold one in it. There's up tilt. Okay, and then reading the air dodge incorrectly, probably anticipating them floating in. Of course, to be on that top platform, that's exactly where the Ice Climbers want you. And like not having the confidence to swing with Popo when Nana's not there. We've seen how strong solo, Popo can be. Sopo. We've seen that at Gamba. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, Big D, who got a lot of the job done just playing Sopo, but gonna have to do it right now off the stage, and this is where MuteAce wants you. You can kind of just hang out in the corner, go for nair or down air, lets him back onto the stage.
Nice. Good adaptation there by Iceless. Knowing that MuteAce is a player that really picks apart your timings, but double jump gone, you're never making that back as Sopo. So MuteAce gets to play with the lead, and away we go.
Right. The lead is here, but who is going to succeed? 141%. You got MuteAce in the lead right now at 147%. They're swinging with some authority here. There's the crown coming down. Of course, yes, okay, a little too much. You got to respect the out of shield game. Up smash is always on the ready if you overextend.
There was a really key moment there where MuteAce had a slide off on the platform. If he had been forced to tech on that platform, I do believe that I don't think it was checkmate, but it definitely would have been check. Iceless could have gone up, tossed out the up air, and it could have covered almost every option except for given some timing that MuteAce could mix up right there. And here we go. The climbers are desynced. Iceless is going to try to fight to keep them desynced. That has gone away, but did get the advantage, building up a lot of percent. Now the question is, can you get off ledge, and can you do it while keeping Nana alive? Yes, and got the desync out of it too, which can be huge for that combo game.
It almost feels like the desyncs are in sync right here, but Nana saying bye, bye, bye on the left side of the stage. 3% differential right here separating these two talented players. Who right here is going to pull forward? MuteAce, of course, got to get my best weapon in hand, which is my turnip.
This is a really scary situation, I will say, actually, for MuteAce. He is definitely in the driver's seat, can definitely win this game, but if he gets overly aggressive to try and just end this game and, oh, thank God, it's Sopo, I just need to go and hit him a couple times, then all of a sudden it can get really bad for him. Is at the percentage disadvantage, so Iceless can play this slow. Just needs to make sure that MuteAce doesn't open him up, and MuteAce does not need to overextend, does not need to do it too quickly, does have the percentage lead, and can now stay at a safe distance if so he pleases.
Okay, not a lot of percent separating these two, but who is going to pull ahead first? I can't help but to feel like the spacing is going to lean into the favor of MuteAce, especially when I have positional advantage. That one came down to the nittiest of the gritty there, but MuteAce was able to get that game one victory on their side. Iceless, of course, played very well, but I'd almost argue here, Kimona maybe played it a little too safe. I get it. This is MuteAce, for God's sake. You don't want to overextend. You don't want to be too overzealous or anything of the sort, but I do feel like maybe played a little too defensive, leaned into you coming to me, and then me playing the desync game. I do like that on paper. I just don't love it.
It's really not his fault. There's not a lot that Ice Climbers can do in that situation with a Peach, you know, floating and staying completely outside of your threat range, because your threat range is where you can get up to somebody and hit them without them really being able to react. And MuteAce was always at a distance where it was reactable. And there's only moments where MuteAce was kind of crossing over onto the other side of the stage to try and once again create that distance. And Iceless, I think early on, did a good job of capitalizing on those situations, but maybe to what you're saying, needs to force those situations to happen a few more times, and maybe Hollow Bastion with that center platform that those hammers can cover may be able to give Iceless the opportunity to do that. And with desync climbers right now working hard to keep it that way.
That's right. I mean, Popo and Nana, when they work hard. This ain't just 9 to 5. This is overtime right here, and a lot more hours right there on the time card. But the fact remains the same. Here we go. Okay, on the way down. There's the dash attack. And of course, not finding the opening that they're looking for. Dancing around that shield, but knowing that none of those hits are going to connect, so able to push themselves away. Okay, desync. Cool. Love that fair.
All right, now Iceless trying to close things out, is stuffing these Peach Bombers with the icicle blocks. I do like that, not being able to let MuteAce just kind of get on stage for free. And I think Mute is actively choosing to do that as well, to mix up the recoveries. But yes, He said that uh-oh just in time to tell people what was coming after that up tilt, because it is going to be the up airs afterwards. Iceless opening up MuteAce for that first stock.
It is big, man. I'm telling you, when it comes through huge. You gotta love it. 7 frames of pain right there. Doesn't matter if it hits plus or minus there. Of course, when you get the right setup after the desync, you are in a good spot. MuteAce right now has to play from behind, gets rid of Nana, but honestly, given the way that last match kind of wrapped up, yes, MuteAce won, but Sobo could definitely get the job done. Hold up, can I get a spin back on? No, you're cooked.
Spin to get you off.
I know that's right, man. The spin to win right there, 2 stocks apiece. MuteAce says it is important that I keep this one as even as humanly possible, not just because we're in top 32 on the loser side, but Iceless is just that talented of a player. I can't allow them to have the lead with these desyncs. Are you kidding me? There's up air again. Doesn't get both swings, but message definitely sent. There's another one. There's the up tilt.
Good Lord. Iceless playing so well right there. This anti-air game, just this, it's like playing like Galaga or something, right? Just any of Space Invaders, right? It's just, okay, the Peach is getting close to my base. I have to fire back, and that is exactly what he is doing. That just base defense game is working out so well, and there's MuteAce running to the other side of the stage, right out of the corner. Iceless unable to capitalize, and this is where MuteAce has been making that bread. Oh, Nana, no!
No, Nana, unfortunately, not going to be able to make it back to the ledge. And now this is time for MuteAce to really rise to the occasion. You can hold forward just a little bit more. Now, of course, to play a character like Ice Climbers at this level, you have to know how to get the job done with Sopo, bringing down that frame at 19 forward there, swinging that hammer, clearing some space. And right there, he took a hammer to the face. MuteAce, damn, how is this one going to wrap up, man? You're in the deficit. I'm so afraid for him.
Iceless just trying to get a little bit of extra credit and just threatening that center stage. Now it does have center stage, but MuteAce able to just jump right out. Peach, one of the best characters at getting out of the corner, showing that off right there. Doesn't even do it with blazing speed. It's just, okay, tons of routes that other characters would not have access to, using that float, mixing up those double jump heights. Iceless at 145. This Sopo has just not been able to get a scratch on Mute to get that little bit of extra credit, and will not, even with the perfect DI to the corner forward. They're plenty strong enough to do it.
That's right. 1 stock apiece, and yes, plenty strong indeed. I mean, again, I always forget about forward air and Peaches too, which is so weird. I get so caught up in like the float cancel stuff, like, you know, float cancel, you know, down air, float cancel up air. It is all like her wonderful offstage prowess. I always forget the cherry on top, the creme de la creme is the forward air, and nobody applies it as well as MuteAce here. There's the up tilt, being able to get right through the turn up. Yes, I'm spinning, and I'm most certainly ready to start winning right here. Another up tilt on the anti-air. Right option, wrong character. Of course, Peach can be in the air for quite some time.
Nice escape right there from MuteAce. I mean, that side B, I thought the Peach Bomber would be punishable, but Iceless couldn't get in close enough, but hold on. Sliding in with that up tilt, but could not take advantage of the desync. Barely mistimed getting Nana to throw out that forward air, but nonetheless, it is still dead even right now, Rod. 80% each frozen up tilts into the up airs. It's not going to be enough. Hollow Bastion's got those cavernous ceilings, and so MuteAce gets to hang on just a little longer.
Oh, okay, but can Nana hang on, okay? I mean, I think that's going to be the biggest difference maker right here in this match. Nana said, I'm coming to help. Crown a little off the mark. Okay, back air, you know it's coming. Very safe on shield. You hit the right climber. It's the right time right here for MuteAce to go up 2-0. It's looking good, and a bit of a sigh of relief. I mean, and for good reason. I mean, you get too close up on ice climbers, and you know, they're going to really give you a run for your money. So it's okay to breathe a little bit. You went up 2-0.
It's easy to be stressed out because that side B that Mute did there at the end, that is a very common tactic by Peach to throw out that back air. Dash back, people think, oh, thank God, she didn't back air again. Now I can run up and get my own pressure, or at least take some stage, because normally you have to respect a ton of those short hop back airs being thrown out on your shield, but that's where that Peach Bomber comes in. But it's very dangerous, like you said, breathe a sigh of relief, because if you spot dodge that, if you get a read on that, then Iceless easily would have been able to end the game with all the end lag Mute would have been left in, but it did work out for Mute. Hitting him with those, you know, again, the simple strategies that everybody's seen out of Peach. You don't need to overcomplicate it as long as you're able to get in and get those hits.
I think that's kind of the beautiful part of MuteAce's toolkit, especially when you're playing against a player like Iceless, forcing you to maybe not go for all your options at the same time. MuteAce always saves the best for absolute last. I mean, again, the Peach Bomber, just a move that we didn't really get to see very often, but a move we do get to see a lot is that back air, and it coming out in a big way on Nana. Unfortunately, too much for her to handle, and not going to be able to get back to the ledge. Spinning right here, though. Holding forward is that dash attack once more. Come here. Dancing on your shield. It's the dancing machine right here.
Tap dancing and all, right? I mean, I can't believe that Popo has, you know, won at 81%, given how quickly that Nana went down. MuteAce in this game has definitely turned up the jets. Like you said, I mean, just has that ability to turn it up. That was a bomb, but was not able to connect it. Tried to throw it at the ledge, but Iceless with a good recovery did maneuver around that, again, that RNG chance to sometimes just blow up your stock out of nowhere.
Oh my God, and yes, no Nana right here. Unfortunately enough, narrowly escaping out of harm's way. Iceless right now has a lot of opportunities right here to open up, but unfortunately finds himself off stage and playing the recovery minigame. Nice try to Z drop a turn up. MuteAce right here getting kind of cute.
Iceless definitely exercising some great recoveries against Peach, knowing where the threats are at the ledge and what really not to concern and look out for. Again, you know, Mute against this Sopo doesn't want to get too comfortable, doesn't want to let Iceless just kind of rack up some extra damage where it's not necessary. But there is that back air to get a little bit of stage control, and this is easily, you know, a stock that Iceless could take first. And as I say that, MuteAce says, shut your mouth. I am not going to fall into that kind of situation.
Right.
Easy little forward air to take it.
Mute keeping it cute right there, but I do like the presence of mind to go for back air. You know, you want to go for safe options. Moves that you know would work if Nana was there and if she was not there. And unfortunately went for back here, but didn't quite get too much off it. There's the down tilt. I'm looking for these D-sinks. The real question is I'm looking, but can I find them? Whoa. Okay. Little misposition. Gotta get that up tilt first. And geez, these hammers are just applying this ice and this hammers every dang where.
I wish we could see the inputs on Mute's controller right there, because that was absolutely just holding back and jump. Just get me out of that situation. But so too does Iceless do exactly that. Just also throws in the A button to get that back air out, clean up that first stock. But can you keep Nana alive? Yes, using that side B, the Squall Hammer coming in clutch. Iceless has been making great use of it so far, not only as a shield pressure tool, but also as a recovery and just to keep Nana alive tool. And sometimes you just got a babysitter.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to. I mean, again, you need Nana to really get the job done. I mean, Sopo, we've seen Sopo come back from some miraculous feats, but it is Nana that really helps you seal the deal. Now, another back air, probably anticipating a jump there that time. Great read, but just a little mistimed. MuteAce, of course, knows that they have a lead. It's not much of a lead, but it's certainly a lead nonetheless when somebody is threatening as Iceless. Coming through with that Nair. Forward air, of course, has claimed a couple stocks. Frame 19 startup. You don't want that move to hit shield, especially if Nana's here. We have to dig deep to find the answer back. You can't be caught in the corner. Hold up. There's up tilt. Nothing off the net. Whoa, Nair and a forward air. Geez, I didn't know you can desync the aerials too.
Ice Climbers has got so many things that you can do to have all of that option coverage available. Even had the Squall Hammer ready afterwards. Nice, not mashing on it to just fall like a brick right down to that ledge. Iceless, again, doing a great job of using that move to its full effect. But Nana getting taken up into that top blast. So Mute with that combo, and once again, this game is going to slow down to a crawl as Iceless is back down to the Sopo, and things will get extra careful.
It is apparent that Nana has to be here, but unfortunately she's not, and so because of this, has to get the job done with just one climber, and I think we can do it. It's whack-a-mole time, or I guess in this case, whack-a-peach. Hammer comes down, and it's looking good here.
You get one.
You get just the one.
You get to do that one time in a set, and Iceless picked a great time to do it. Now, though, Rod, down to last stock.
Yes, it is, and I mean, the narrative, of course, is speaking to the favor of MuteAce. If there's ever time for, you know, Iceless to really rise to the occasion, it's certainly now, but I think both sides are so afraid of what happens when you get that one opening, and for good reason. Gets the up tilt. Nice, looking for the drop down through the platform to another up air, of course, but that down tilt, Jesus. MuteAce starting to kick up the jets a little bit.
Playing doubles right now, man. I mean, not even worrying about those desyncs. We've seen Iceless pulling out one of the bread and butters there of use the Blizzard to cover the ground, use the up tilt to cover the jump in or the jump over to try to punish that. And Iceless, man, both climbers still alive right now, and that has got to be the case down to the very end. Again, Mute is on game point right now, so if Mute takes this next stock, then this set is over. Iceless will be out of Dreamhack Dallas at 9th, and that just might happen. Great use of the Icicle block to cover that recovery and got back with Nana to boot.
They said we are on our way back at the ledge of the stage. Center stage right here, dash attack on the way in. MuteAce has completely shifted focus here on Nana, and for good reason, knowing that she is the difference maker in a set. Up tilt, up smash. It is good. Niceless right here. It is priceless. We gotta keep Nana around.
9 out of 10.
Thank you.
That was a good one. Those are bars.
Thank you.
And you said you gave up on being a rapper.
And,
That's
you know,
crazy.
I switched it over to rap comedy. I was like, you know, I'm never going to drop a mixtape, but come see me make a fool of myself at the comedy club. You got it. Come check me out.
I like it. Good stuff. And Iceless deserves to have some bars about him in that sense, because getting that game 3 after Mute had control and just kind of been bleeding him dry over the course of this whole set. Definitely doing a good job of bringing that one back. Doing a much better job of keeping that Nana alive, especially after we saw Nana just get evaporated in that first stock when, okay, This is priority number one. Mute is not getting anywhere near me. He is scared of me as long as Nana is alive. So as long as I make that the number one priority, I can fight. That's what he's been thinking, and that's what made that game tick.
And I love how much respect both sides have shown on each other. Again, I don't know much of Iceless's work, but I am certainly a fan now. But it goes without saying that there's going to be a lot of aggressive moments with Ice Climbers, and we're not quite seeing him here, not because he's not good, but because he knows it's all about picking those points in the match perfectly. It's not about who can do it first, it's about who does it correctly. Same can be said for MuteAce too. I've seen an aggressive MuteAce. I've seen MuteAce handle Aquila twice, okay? I know MuteAce can get crazy. Fact is, you can't do that versus Ice Climbers. So a lot of respect is being shown on both sides. MuteAce, of course, still on set point. Iceless with the point right now on the board, trying to push us to a game number 5. The question is, can it happen?
Ooh, MuteAce opening up a desync for Iceless, who got into that down throw but could not get the cheer cancel, so Nana got right back in sync. Here we go, though, keeping it nice and steady with Nana tossing out those ice blocks. Now we got to see Iceless. Yes, once again, desync, still keeping it alive. Really, really good stuff, because you can't just kind of stand there and let Nana get right back in touch with you, just like we see right now. You got to focus on it, and there you see that moonwalk to desync once again, and MuteAce is just sitting up on the platform in his penthouse saying, yes, that's all very impressive, but you got to hit me with it.
That's right. Those boots don't have any treads on them. I think the moonwalk is a wonderful dance move, but I'm up here, though. And you are out there. No hunchback. Jeez. Loving that offstage prowess. That is a MuteAce Iceless without Nana once more. Now, like you said, they may have used their one Sopo dub stamp ticket. Let's see if they can maybe do it again. No, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
No, goodbye. You
Definitely
got your
there.
one. You
got the
your
one.
Yeah.
Again, it was that tomahawk forward smash. I mean, look, you're never going to see that again. Mute's going to be on the lookout for it. I mean, again, Iceless picking a really good time to toss that out back in that last game, but now needs to be so straightforward with those Ice Climbers. There's the footstool combo, and you don't even need the forward air. Right into the forward smash. The DFW crowd getting loud for the hometown hero in Iceless. You said you weren't familiar with his work, and a lot of people out of town might not be, because Iceless is just kind of one of those borderline PR players. Does need to keep that Nana alive, though, to really show that strength, show that depth that DFW has, and MuteAce just dismantling that second stock Nana.
Yeah, Nana just got obliterated. I mean, I'm talking, I've seen some bouts, okay? I've seen some MMA fighters get beat up, but geez, I've never seen a player get whooped the way Nana just got handled right there. Of course, nothing Iceless could really do about that. It is Sopo time, center stage. I know what the narrative speaks. I'm not coming anywhere towards that ledge. And wait a minute, you thought your desyncs were nice. Wait till you see what I can do with this turnip. Spins right back towards center stage. Up tilt. Nice. I'm smooth with this hammer. Don't be a nail is what I'm trying to tell you.
Definitely racking up that damage right there, Iceless. Just using some empty movement to get up close. Kind of some shades of that Shadic gameplay that we see sometimes, right? Just, you know, a little bit less scary when it's a Sopo jumping at you. Nonetheless, you still have to respect it if you're Mute. Sometimes you do have to give up that space. And Iceless using that jump to get back on stage. Still not getting hit, though, and racking up a lot more damage than I was expecting the Sopo to be able to.
That's right. Of course, just kind of applying the damage thoroughly right there. And X marks the spot right there, putting the crown on somebody else's head, but maybe not in the way that we probably thought. MuteAce looking powerful. 58% two-stock lead. Iceless certainly has the work cut out from him. Has to play this one practically perfect. And unfortunately has their work cut out. Here we go.
A little bit of up air out of shield action right there, noticing that Mute hasn't been like full sending on shield and is able to just kind of swing that as he's retreating. 93% to take him right back to the skies. Caught with just a little bit of the blizzard, but that is not Sora. That is not just one little ice particle to freeze. You got to get quite a few of them. Iceless not quite able to find that definitive hit.
A little off the mark, little mispositioned, if you will. Nice, but nice. Another up smash out of shield. He's gotten a lot of that here throughout the course of this match, but you know, we've seen that courtesy of Mute overextending a dash attack or anything of the sort, not quite giving that to Iceless anymore. We in this corner. Okay, nice, floats right in. Playing this game of chicken, will they or won't they? Just put a ring on it already. Stop playing.
You just cannot try to punish that Squall Hammer with the two climbers. It is simply not possible in almost any situation unless you've got some cracked out frame one option or an item in hand or whatever. But nonetheless, Iceless on his last legs here, potentially 107%, and it's just the forward air at ledge to do it. MuteAce playing that ledge game beautifully. You know, the sights have been beautiful.
That's right.
And the sounds as well. Other senses may tend to differ. The taste buds as well. I got some good lunch today as well. And now some more delicious dessert and dinner for your eyes. We've got some good smash ahead of you. MVD and Beastly playing to make it into top 8. Snake versus Diddy, the Brawl Classics coming out.
That's right. And MVD's old main and back in Smash 4 is back right here being piloted by somebody equally as deadly, Beastly. trying to hold it down right here for the reason. Monkey flip kick on the way in. That leg is out, and it is active. On the topic of some active legs, there's Snake. Of course, Diddy Kong has the grenade on him. Back on Snake now. Hot potato, and it don't get no hotter than that grenade, I tell you.
Look, if there's any character main archetype that is going to be able to handle grenades just as well as Snake does, it ought to be Diddy. That item play is definitely part of Beastly's repertoire. He loves to mess around with that. Barely lived a C4 earlier. I was kind of shocked to see that it didn't get the KO, but somehow still able to hold on. That multi-hit up smash definitely getting Beastly in some hot water, and goodbye. Look out!
Oh, damn. The barrel technician. It looks like you got some competition. That's right. You ain't the only one I could get it done. I'm loving what I'm seeing here. And, of course, it's all smiles across the board. I mean, again, this is just a platform fighter, for God's sakes. It's just all about the fun.
That might have been one of the funniest things, because Beastly kept that spinning for like 3 solid seconds. Like, that was just a mix-up of when's it going to hit the ground, MVD? Oh, my goodness.
Okay, speaking of hits right there, Diddy Kong a little off the mark with the downer. That would have been the biggest hit, but there it is. Misposition, got it on stage. Whoa! Hey, down tilt, frame 4, up here, we going high. Of course, Snake, heavy guy, but mesh is sent, though. Tread lightly on those platforms. Diddy Kong don't need much space to get the party started. Who to the ha right there, GR smash style. Okay, stop playing with me.
That was an actual hoo-ha. People keep calling the up throw up air the hoo-ha because that was the combo that Diddy used after the original hoo-ha got taken out of Smash 4. That was the down throw up air, and we just saw it from Beastly. I'm getting MVD. He's like, oh, I've seen that one before.
I've seen that
one.
Oh,
I remember that.
Yeah, this is the good
film.
That
was the good old days.
Good film. Hit me right in the nostalgia. Okay. I just only wanted to see it just the once. But Beastly said you might have to see it a couple more times, because I got the lead right here, and it ain't done. Being able to air dodge through, nice. No 6-frame up tilt, a little off the mark, rolling backwards. Grenades getting it done. Form and the fastest up smash in the Wild Wild West. It belongs to Diddy Kong. Proceed with caution.
Beastly, really, really clean stuff to take that game 1. I mean, throwing the whole kitchen sink at MVD. And honestly, you know, we talk a lot about MVD being a very versatile Snake, and especially, I think, being a Snake that specializes in utilizing that item play, trying to see. I mean, we saw in an earlier set how he did a really good job of adapting that against Shadic and utilizing that in, you know, a more offensive, a more defensive, a more stage control ways. MVD didn't get the chance to play with all of his toys in that game. Beastly was all over him like hot butter on a breakfast toast. Shout out to the Sugar Hill gang.
There it is.
It was just a beautiful play game 1.
That's right. I mean, you got to know MVD has a lot of footage of himself out there on the internet, footage dating back a decade plus years. So, I mean, if you want to figure out how to fight this guy, the answers are right. It's an open book test. It is an open book test right here, and Beastly has definitely studied up. As you can see, there's a down throw right into the up air, really holding down the middle of the stage. Yes, the item play you talked about before. I mean, if there's ever a character that should know how to get it done with these said items, it should be some combination of Diddy Kong and R.O.B. Come on, man. Nice throw right into the fair. And that down tilt, of course, spells trouble more times than not in the corner. MVD electing to recover high, not looking for that frame 4 option to get caught by. You don't want that.
And there's that Nikita, which whiffs, and that gives Beastly that opportunity to get right back up in his face. There's the banana on the ledge, but Beastly did not capitalize. I think respected MVD a bit too much and didn't kind of wait for that panic roll in, which MVD threw out, but ended up working. And speaking of ending up working, that high recovery by Beastly, clipping MVD with the Jet Blast. Beastly looking still solid in this game number 2.
Beastly is looking wonderful right now. Going to go for the down throw there that time. And yes, not one to roll behind, because you have to find your way to work around these grenades. Decided to roll out, up smash right there. Is this the E3 trailer? What's going on here?
I just got Helldivers flashbacks. So somebody's like, I'm going to use the Mortar Sentry.
Uh-oh.
And then, here it comes. I hear the tunk, tunk, and I'm like, I'm not making it out of here, am I?
Nope, absolutely
And
not.
then I go ragdolling across the map.
That's right. Beastly said, though, all jokes aside, your destiny belongs to me, my friend. I am still up in this set, and you have to come and get me if you want to fight, if you want to get this stock taken. Now, I will have to say this, though. As dangerous as Diddy Kong is up close in the C2C, Snake is not to be taken lightly, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Don't overstand. Whoa, but that all comes down to if Snake can get those boots back on the solid ground and doing just that in an authoritative way. Using that back air, sometimes you have to know the difference between recovering with no damage and having to throw out a move to trade a little bit of damage to get back on the ground. Nikita!
Okay, we're not doing this again, right? There's no way we're doing this again! I can't believe Beastly has hit that twice now. MVD was laughing the first time. He's not laughing the second time.
No, he said ain't nothing funny about what's going down here. This is serious business.
The first time, it's like, oh, okay, funny. Huh, Smash Ultimate's a good game, right? A little funny moment. Second time is I'm locked in.
Yeah,
I'm down 1-0 now. There's no more laughing.
I'm activated. All right, I'm Winter Soldier. Okay, I've heard the right combination of words. I'm ready for damage.
What do the numbers mean, Mason?
That's right. Okay, grenade in the ledge, respecting it. Banana peel in hand. Woo! Threw it because he knew that grenade was getting ready to detonate, but that's okay because the great thing about MVD Snake is survivability is always key, okay? And we have seen him last to dark red percent. However, Beastly said it may have ran in the bracket family until it ran into me. It's done. Okay, you on your final stock right here in game number 2, and I can't help but to feel like you ain't having no fun. Hold up, back here. Down throw. Ah!
The falling up air from Beastly was an attempt to set up for a down air, which would not have taken a stock, but definitely big damage. Would have kept MVD off stage. And man, the combo off of the grenade. Beastly is moving all over the place. It's like that video of the monkey in the bathroom just jumping all over the place.
Yes.
And the guy's like, okay, stop. Let's settle down, right? Stop. Okay.
No, he said, no, we're on top here these days. Diddy Kongs are definitely back in full effect, and I'm loving it. Fair off the, not the Nikita, excuse me, off of the Cypher. Oh, my goodness, we're going to go for the up air. You know what's funny about Snake, it just hit me, is that a lot of characters in the game, we just say like forward special, neutral special, whatever. Snake is, I think, the only character where I think everybody just elects to call his moves actually just what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, grenade, C4 or C3 butterfly, depending on whatever version of the game you're playing. You know, Cypher.
Because they're
Nikita,
all items,
they're
right?
all
you know,
items.
you can point at that as being a thing where it's like,
That's
what, am I going to call it Raptor Boost every time?
Yeah, that's corny. Nobody would say Raptors every time, but Nikita, I'll say that every time. That rolls off the tongue well. Nikita.
I think it's just hit my head. I think that we use the nomenclature or the what's the word, the lexicon.
Yes.
I think we call recovery moves much more often side B, up B, down B, whatever.
Yes.
And then if you're attacking with them, we call them by the move name a bit more.
Oh,
because I'm thinking about this. I'm like, when I say side B, I envision somebody going to the ledge, like a Fox illusion,
like
right?
The actual
like if you're moving
movement.
with the move.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That is actually a really good point. I didn't even pick up on that. Wow. I need to now go back and reanalyze
that just hit my head now. I'm like, wait a second.
I need to go back and reanalyze my last 10 years of commentary. I mean, what the heck, Kimona D's. Okay, Kimona right here, the person with the plan right here. Same could be said for Beastly. Up right now, 2 games on MVD. And I'm going to be honest, looking pretty comfortable doing it, okay? I mean, I'm not saying MVD ain't putting up a fight. I'm just saying the fight that Beastly's putting up a little bit more have to be that much more terrifying. Up throw. Okay, we up sky high. There's the up smash. And yes, grenade saving my skin. I got to, you know.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, damn.
Rod, I think that a lot of people overuse the word schmovement.
Schmovement.
I think that this is an appropriate time to say the word schmovement. That is, I think, the best way to describe how Beastly has been playing. He is schmoving, and he is doing schmovement-like things.
That's right. Schmoves are getting schmooved on, okay? I mean, the moves are definitely the schmoves like Jagger, okay? That's what's happening right now.
You're on a Varun5 kick this weekend.
I think so. I think I just
You
need
talked about Varun5 earlier.
it's the shower playlist, okay? I think that's what it is. It's the overexposed album that I just can't get over. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, and MVD's gameplay might be a little overexposed right now. They might need to switch up the flow ever so slightly. Of course, Beastly, just, again, throwing a wrench into the plan. But again, what makes his Snake so much different than the other? My CQC, it comes when it's ready to come. But it is all about the Cypher and the C4 and the Nikita. That right there, that is the reason why MVD Snake is so patented at the way it is. I mean, again, you have really got to watch him move.
The consistent damage numbers go up. If I may put a bow on the Maroon 5, you look at those damage numbers and he needs to add them up or he's Levine this stadium right now at 89%.
Okay.
You can say 2 out of 10 on that. It's okay. MVD, though, is the one with the higher numbers right now, and Beastly can keep on the pressure. And, yes, I am not letting you follow up on that terrible joke.
No, I'm not. I'm just like, you know, I was like, there's some other Maroon 5 songs I like, but no, it's all about this one right here, man. The song that is being written right here, Beastly in full control of the track, and it just feels like MVD just a little bit without words right now in the booth. You better figure something out here, man. Open your mouth and say something. Okay,
I will
grenades.
say, the defense from MVD to counter this aggression from Beastly, it's
Oh!
really starting to pick up on that positioning. 2 grenades! Did not get a combo off of it, although every single one of those could have been something big. Down throw, no, just going for the Nikita now.
Nikita not going to go for the high recovery back. Not going to jump in too early. I know you're looking for that in between the grenade and an up tilt. Guess what? I'm taking the grenade every time.
Little rocket barrels right across the stage. Back throw out of nowhere to do it with all that rage. Even if MVD did DI correctly, I don't know if it would have saved him. Diddy is looking so solid in the hands of Beastly right now. Just needs one more stock to I mean, again, just a dominant way to get into top 8 if he's able to close it out here.
MVD can get that down throw into the you-know-what. We might be in a good spot, but not giving it to him. There's the up tilt. Can't quite get anything off of it. Takes the banana peel from him. Throws the banana peel. I don't need that. Down air, up tilt, right into the nair. When you start seeing Diddy Kong go for nair, this is a Diddy Kong that's feeling pretty good, but he certainly felt better. There's a down throw into the up tilt. MVD bringing this back, but not before taking 65. Very uncomfortable percent. What is it going to come down to?
Not enough for Beastly to take the stock immediately, but again, with the banana in hand, we can see that Beastly has been able to continue combos in places that you normally would never expect Diddy to be able to. So he has always got one of those in his hands, and what's crazy is that that has not hampered his ability to deal with grenades. Normally you want to be able to throw those items right back at MVD, but Beastly has really not cared. He's just been using that maneuverability of Diddy to stop worrying about it. And now at 108, one trip from that banana can end this game.
It most certainly can, but also Snake applying a little bit of that Snake rage can be a very scary thing to see, but it's not going to come at the expense of you playing the long game, and you are no longer in this game.
Down and to your right.
That's right. Hey, I guess so, man. Don't get hungry by starter on no tears. Anyway, here we go.
Don't even look.
Don't do it. Grayson and Skitz, I believe this is the final game right here of the evening, and I can't think of a better way to close it out. These are two characters that I like a lot, especially Wario. This is my Mario Party main right here. Wario, let's lock in. Got a frame 4 fair. I believe you have frame 5 on the down tilt, right into the forward tilt, which is why that move changed so well. Wario really just a menace up close and personal in a way that you wouldn't expect a character of his size to be. You know, and of course, R.O.B being combo food, it ain't hard to smack this guy around, but that's if you can get in R.O.B, a much longer character than Wario.
I already feel like I'm just sitting right back in the chair at FX Games and Console Repair watching Grand Finals and Ultimate Shockwave, right? And Grayson getting right off the bat, feeling like he is right back in his element. We saw a little bit of, discomfort playing against Jazzo earlier, but right back against Skitz in his element. Definitely taking that first stock rather quickly. I mean, these two, I would not be surprised if their set count is 60 or greater. I think that's about where I would set my over-under, because these have been two good players in the Dallas region for a very, very long time, and they are both fiends for going to lots and lots of tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, got to stay hungry, especially if you're in a region that's nice and prolific as Dallas Smash, or really Texas Smash, excuse me. I mean, there's a lot of regions in the world, not all of them have the ability to host weeklies everywhere. So, I mean, it's important out there, friends. We're going to go back and watch it. If you got a weekly, get out there and support it. It's your perfect time.
Go to your locals.
Go to your locals. Thank your local TON production team. Get them friendlies in so you can get on this big Dreamhack stage like Grayson and Skitz. 127% right now on Grayson's side. Playing like a man of possessed, but wait a minute. You got to go ahead and put that stock to bed. It is Skitz right now, even in this game up, applying this rage. Baiting out the air dodge, doesn't quite give it to him, but the triple down tilt. You got to wonder, what is Grayson cooking here in this kitchen? Oh, there it is.
There he is. He's cooking up a Wario. Broiled on the grill, which is not what you do. You grill things on the grill, not broil them.
I guess
so that's my bad. I don't know my cooking. I should watch more Babish.
Hey, no worries, man. We're on the receiving end of eating. We like the part where it comes on the plate and we get to eat. Not so much so good in the cooking part, so it's all right.
I'll be overhandling him.
Yeah, that's facts. Wait a minute. Oh, almost getting overhandled off stage. Nice. Approaching with that up air. Nair, very safe, of course, drifting away, safe on ship with the falling up air. Oh, trying to go for the falling up air, you madman. It is Skitz. Okay.
Nice. A little bit of my Tasty Steve just came out right there, just knowing that, okay, the anticipation, knowing that that falling up air might connect. It could be that waft incoming, but more than likely Skitz is going to be saving that for the final stock if he gets a say in it. At 137, eat that bike. You don't have it available as a recovery resource. Making a great time to come off the ledge with that forwarder, though, to contest that gyro pickup, knowing those tendencies and habits that Grayson has for picking it up.
Of course, it's all about that timing between these two characters. Of course, that bike definitely plays a big effect. Wario's recovery system also extending hit boxes and hurt boxes. It is huge. As it stands right now, it's going to take a little bit more than the bike to bring itself out of this deficit. Obviously, Skitz trying to hold on to that waft as long as possible. Fortunately enough, it might not matter. Up air from up underneath at 160%. You are knocking on death's door, and he's about to answer here pretty soon. Down tilt, no. Answering back with the F tilt, right into that dash attack. Here we go. We're going to recover just a little bit of health. Not a lot, but just enough, just to gain it all back.
I thought he jumped right into that laser, but it was not active by the time Skitz. It's not over! Okay.
Hold up.
He's still barely hanging on, 172% with all this rage. I think Grayson and Skitz both know the score. A falling up air or just that lingering last hit nair can set up for the game, and Skitz is hunting for it, and by God, if he has his way, he will find it. Oh my God, that could have been
Oh my God, he's just chasing him down. There's the Nair, has him off his feet. He knows that in order for him to get that wop, has to be some sort of falling aerial into something. He's not just going to toss it out. We're coming up on the 3-minute mark, but this match is going to be over long before it hits 0, depending on how this one all shapes up. There's your bike, bro. You're looking for this? What the hell? No, we still in this joint.
The sour spot. Skitz does not have the bike available. Didn't need it, though. Kept the double jump. I can't believe he's alive at 219% against R.O.B, who has so many kill eventually options, and the numbers keep climbing. He looks like a Mercedes-Benz model.
Oh, my God. There's that frame 6 fair. Still not enough to get it done. Gyro in the corner. He's just tossing anything out, and he might be in some trouble. Falling up there. Those hands are disjointed. There's up tilt. He's looking for something. He's looking. He's suited, and this stock is ready to get booted here pretty soon. Wait a minute.
This game should have been over 2 minutes ago, and yet Skitz is still barely holding on. Shield break also would be a viable way to do it, but Grayson finally able to breathe a sigh of relief, ending that game with the back air. But Rod, that was just one interaction away for a minute and a half straight from ending the other way.
Yes, it was. I mean, and that's such a beautiful thing to see from both of these two individuals, knowing that the match can go down to the wire in a lot more ways than one. Not just one stock apiece, okay? Not with both sides with a lot of rage, but Wario, Skitz, being in those dark red percents. I was wondering if we were going to hit sudden death percent. Is this a free-for-all?
He's stalling!
Where are we going to hit sudden death percent? Is the fire about to start coming in? Because we got to get this stock taken and fast. Wario's one of those bad guys. You got to kill him. You got to kill early. You got to kill him fast, okay? Because if not, he's going to come back. You can see right now, game number 2 here is upon us. Grayson going up with that first game, but it was a hard-fought one. I expect this one to go all 5 games if we're lucky.
It's just those moments where Skitz can really lock in, that things can just start falling apart for Grayson, but been so consistent in this set so far, has not really been given Skitz these kinds of opportunities that you see right here. We haven't seen Skitz be able to do more than just nickel and dime Grayson for the most part, but now finally getting that opportunity to rack up a ton of damage and now play with a very significant lead. Question being, is he going to be able to rack on some pressure, or are we just going to have to reset to that situation where things have evened up and Grayson gets to control the game? And you can see those numbers right as I was speaking that sentence, they were the same.
They were, and it's all going to come down to really spacing and positioning. I think, you know, getting back towards the middle of the stage and not allowing a character as scary as Wario to really pin you down in the corner. Down tilt is terrible to work around. You got up tilt as well to both sides. I mean, when you get hit with that down tilt, you got dash attack on the ready, or if you're holding shield, guess what? You got another down tilt coming through. It's going to keep doing it. Or if you get hit with up tilt, you got either forward air or namely back air. That's going to get the job done. Skitz right now going up a stock. What is supposed to happen when Wario gets the lead? We've seen him play from behind in the last game, but now he has to lead. You got to play the Skitz show, and it's looking kind of troublesome right here for Grayson. Okay, head full of lasers. Gyro trying to get a little bit of space between these two individuals. Put that back air away. Falling up air. Oh,
no.
Damn.
Okay, didn't believe that maybe the half waft would be able to take the stock there, because that was definitely the setup. Or Skitz thinking playing with the lead, right? No need to burn it so early. May end up paying the price for that as Grayson is able to take him right off stage. But there's the half waft. Use it right there. A little bit later than we would have seen in that last stock, but nonetheless, Skitz still playing with a full stock lead.
That's right, and I think now Skitz is starting to kind of show his hand and threaten that space a little bit. He knows that if I break away, my opponent has laser, and of course he applies it as well as they can. And of course you have gyro as well, but the fact remains the same. I can eat that gyro, so you want to make sure you stay just close enough to stay out of harm's way, but also close enough to where gyro can really make a big play for yourself. Nice, delicious, yummy. What you doing off this stage, yo? Oh, the Will Smith. I love that.
Yes, buenos dias, Mandy, indeed. Just hitting that 2-frame down air, obviously not going to be enough against a heavy character like R.O.B. The second one still not going to be enough. The third could if he finds it. Wow, my goodness. Caught those arms reaching up. R.O.B. loves to go yippee as he's using those jet boosters, and that's Wario using that big old cartoon hand to get him out of there.
That's right. Very wacky character for sure, courtesy of their introduction into Smash. For those of us who remember all those years ago, go back and watch that E3 trailer. We knew what we were getting ourselves into when Wario was introduced. You know, again, it's a very it's a very, very wonky character. I'm gonna use that word, okay? Another word that starts with W for Wario. So beautiful stuff right there on Skitz's behalf. Of course, one game apiece. I'd like to see this one go all 5, given the nature of how well these two have both been playing. But I'm sure that these two certainly have a different plan at hand. That's right. The techno music is definitely playing, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to party tonight. Dreamhack said, look, when you get here, commentate Friday, Saturday night's going to be a party. I said, my body's ready. Can we talk about it?
I look at Tekken music and I start popping off, and then I hear this and I think about Player 4. Shout-outs to Reggie.
Shout out. Right, the rock, paper, scissors, handshake, fist bump king right there is Player 4.
I have gotten mixed by that far too many times. Right, you just have to let him have it.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you just have to let him have it.
It's the Player 4 show, and Player 4 is around. But we got to talk about Player 1 and 2. Okay, there's back here. Okay, falling up here. Right into the nair. Nice frame 4 option. And again, this is great for Skitz to just use. Again, Wario's wonderful air drift, air mobility, just to fly around the headspace that is R.O.B. Again, very tough sometimes, I think, for R.O.B to have to work around, but you do have that up tilt, which comes out very, very quick. Quick frame 4 option for another frame 4-1. Come here. Okay, on the ground. Oh, I love the tomahawk. Come here. Come here.
Not only the tomahawk, but just going for that side switch with that down tilt right before that, and doing it so that, Grayson doesn't get launched off stage, because weirdly, R.O.B has a lot more options when he is in the air than he does when he's on the ground in the corner against you, right? It's a lot easier for him to get around a ledge guard than it is against a ledge trap like that. And Skitz definitely taking advantage of what that down throw had to offer. Jumping out of the way of those up airs, shielding the next ones. Will Grayson go for it again? No. Smash players generally do not tend to do the same thing 3 times in a row. Skitz taking advantage of that, jumping away. Okay. And to get this next stock.
Gonna have to see. Of course, has him off stage. That down air, of course, has been one of his calling cards. Getting it multiple times in a row in game number 2. Of course, not enough to take the stock, but certainly enough right there to really force his opponent's hand. But you can force both hands and then some right there. Gets the spin to win. Grayson right now, even in this thing up, he knows the importance of not, giving Skitz too much of a lead. Landing there, very safe. But if parried is spaced improperly, you're in some trouble. Nice. Gets a little health regained right into the up B out of shield. Okay, air out of shield. Good.
If that second hit had connected, definitely could have led to a huge combo for Skitz, but Grayson, good recognition on the situation, had the DI out, did not get taken into the depths of oblivion by that now fully charged waft, and now you're going to take a trip into that blast zone. Skitz finding his opportunity.
There you go. Skitz looking powerful right now. Rising upper, up tilt, frame 8, another up air. Okay, a little off the mark. Landing back on the solid ground. I love it. Another up air again, too. I don't know how many disjointed moves Wario has, but I know he definitely has that up tilt for sure.
And that move is still good even after they nerfed it, right? It used to have that really, really good lingering hitbox, but even after some of that got reduced, still such a good move to set up for those combos. Just see Wario's maybe relying a little bit more on that nair as of late. I say as of late as if that didn't happen like, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago?
Jeez, has it really been that long? Don't say that. Don't say that.
It's been a minute.
It's definitely been a minute. Okay, it's been a minute right here since Skitz is KO'd. Of course, he's looking good at 160. Nice. And you can see right now, does not fear the gyro at all. Just a fearless player. Very rare thing to see versus a R.O.B of this stature. Of course, this is Grayson we're talking about. Once gyro gets busy, it is, again, so important to work around that. But here's nair, like you talked about. Just kind of tossing around this option and trying to find an opening here, but this is why I feel like Wario can kind of struggle at times. Again, when the narrative starts to speak to the favor of Wario taking your stock, if the aerial stuff isn't working, like the falling up air or the up tilt into things, then you got to get the stock taken the good old-fashioned way. This is where Wario can kind of struggle a bit.
Ooh, man.
Not R.O.B, though.
Yeah, no, R.O.B says, okay, your kill percent's great. I'm just going to start throwing out a ton of moves, but, man, Skitz right now definitely racking up those numbers. 106% on Grayson. Does not really have any kill confirms available yet. The down tilt dash attack not going to be able to do it yet. Now, if it's in the corner, could be a big threat, but doesn't even need it. Instead, it's the forward tilt for Skitz to take that game, going up 2-1 in the set.
Love that from him. Great corner control from both players. Not quite seeing as much of the down tilt, up tilt stuff from Grayson as we've seen in a couple sets prior. I don't know if that's been like a reoccurring trend throughout the course of the weekend, because I know singles just started today and a lot of it wasn't streamed, but again, I want to see more down tilt. I want to see you lock Wario down. You've allowed Wario to just jump all over you like a deranged crazy person. I guess Wario isn't a deranged crazy person, but you know what I mean, okay? Maybe just a wee bit, okay? He ain't showered in a couple days. Wario has to be some type of deranged, but, again, you got nair, you got upper, you got all these aerials that are very, very safe on shield, namely that nair and that fair, and you've allowed him to apply that thoroughly. You got to figure out a way to lock these movement options down. You have that down tilt, you have up tilt to threaten that space. Even if it doesn't hit, you just still has that narrative that if you jump, I will try to challenge it.
you got to at least be able to threaten those jump-ins, right? Force your opponent to really think about those mix-ups of when am I approaching you on the ground, when am I approaching him in the air? Because if Wario is happy to just jump in on you constantly, or even just kind of threaten that space, because he's got such good air acceleration and air drift, he can jump at you and then non-commit and just kind of drift back away. But obviously you see the damage that happens when he gets up close to you, and Skitz not going to eat a punish for that corkscrew. Will just take home all that damage that he racked up on Grayson.
That's right, 2% differential between these two, just to let you know how close the competition is. And you know what? One thing I will have to give to Grayson is that when he finds these jab block opportunities, I mean, he really cashes out on them. Skitz not teching in place. Don't know if he's not ready for it or what, but you're going to have to start doing that here pretty soon because he already got the double jab lock into down smash, I believe, in game number 1.
Well, you got to remember that down tilt sometimes it just trips, right? There's really nothing you can do about that. There is no tech to have right there. And right now, Skitz looking like he would not even need it, even if he could, because that 100% that he's got built up, that is still on the first stock, and he has got that first one locked down. Back throw from Grayson. No, he's going to mix it up, go for the down throw. Up tilt, so they will not lead into the stock, and a really, really good delayed recovery there from Skitz, and he's just going to hop away from Grayson to give that bike a little bit more time to come back in case he does get launched off stage again.
That's right. He's going to break away and start playing the long game, and they're going to try to cover that space as fast as possible with that gyro, but not before we take a little bit of percent up here on this top platform. Double up here, of course, right into the up B. Back up, bro. My back there is self-spacing. You must ain't heard.
Oh.
Down there. No. Oh.
How did he make that back? I did not believe he had the distance to do it.
How did he get that grab, too? You know, there's some grab animation where I'm like, this makes sense. This is about, it's like a 12-foot tall turtle thing. I mean, this makes sense. R.O.B should have definitely had that grab right there, but I'm not complaining at it. Okay, back
Especially
to the
not if I'm Skitz.
Yeah, that's facts.
Who is, I think, a bit complaining that he's on this big PS2 stage that Grayson took him to. The Waft not able to KO all the way across that long distance, but is able to clean it up nonetheless. Down to 1 stock for Grayson to stay alive, but so too is Skitz with the full R.O.B gyro toss combo. 1 stock apiece, huge for Grayson because he was on the verge of dropping this set and being out of the tournament, now breathing some new life into it.
Now we got to see if Skitz can get the job done without the Waft, which of course is a testament to a lot of talented Warios out there. We know you have the threat of the Waft, which makes the opponent have to play to your narrative, but now that you don't have it, you got to fight him heads up. And I'm going to be real, this ain't going to be an easy thing to do right here versus Grayson. Double frame 8 up tilt, right into the back here.
Yeah, Waft is probably not charged up yet to half. I think we still need about like 15-20 seconds for that to be available because we saw Skitz use it earlier, and Grayson just may be able to take advantage of it with this game being dead even going into the final, perhaps, moments.
That's right. Of course, they're keeping this one airtight. Of course, Grayson off stage. Back here, I'd imagine it's coming soon. Doesn't? Yeah, there it is. Doesn't want to get hit with F tilt anymore, so watching how they get back to that ledge. Going to throw it up. Oh my God, head full of laser, force him to go high on the way back down. Another back air.
Such a good spacing tool for Skitz. It covers a lot of distance. Couldn't pick up the gyros. Sometimes it just nicks you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And 130%, another one of those backers can do it. Forward tilt as well. Down tilt dash attack may be available, but it will be the back air in Skitz with just the small fist pump. And